everybody, welcome to the GameKraft GameKast on the GamerAccess.com. I'm your host, Bronson, joined by
Anthony Tom.
Alright, so today, the past couple days have been really horrible. Yeah. Man, that Super Bowl, not only was it boring as hell, the Broncos just got, they didn't even show up.
I mean, how should I put this? From how I see it, Broncos fans are not butthurt. For them to be butthurt, it should be like 43-28, something like that, like an upset. But the problem is that the Broncos didn't even bother to play the game, and it got so bad to the point where, like, even big Broncos fans like Bronson aren't necessarily angry; they're just extremely disappointed at their own team.
Yeah,
you'd get freaking it got to the point where I'm like, you know what? The Seahawks probably deserve the Super Bowl because at least they played hard. Denver didn't even look like that.
I mean, I wouldn't even be like, I'm not even, I'm a little bit mad, but I'm mostly just disappointed. And I wouldn't be disappointed if the Broncos showed up and played as hard as they could, and just the Seahawks were just way better. Like that's what happened back in the 80s. Like, the Giants, Redskins, and Niners were just better. This was a case of...
I don't know if 55-10 was... Oof.
Yeah, no, trust me, the Niners were that much better. That 80s team was like... They had
that was before the salary cap existed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, so... Oh, God, just... I don't know. To the fine people who keep sending me tweets, yeah, you know what? Totally okay. We're not going to do 60-minute access in the Super Bowl, though.
Yeah, for one thing, we can't even put video on it, or else the NFL's going to chase us down and sue us.
Yeah, also, I have no desire to rewatch that.
I mean, for me, I don't really care about the Seahawks, and I don't care about the Broncos, but normally Super Bowls are kind of entertaining to watch, like the New England Giants game in 2010.
Last year's was pretty good.
Last year's was pretty good. Like, the New England Giants game, that was also pretty good. Like, close games like that are awesome to watch, even if you're not rooting for even though your team didn't make it. However, the last Super Bowl, I just got bored and started going home at midway through the fourth quarter, because I'm like, Broncos aren't going to come back, and it's really boring just watching them fail over and over and over again. It's just not fun to watch. So I just went home.
I mean, that team just, dude, that Broncos coaching staff needs to be talked to.
I felt like someone was going to get fired, but the problem is I don't know who. You're not going to fire John Elway. You can't fire John Fox because, to be honest, the team did really, really well most of the season. It's just that one game, they just completely didn't bother to try.
They literally played their worst game of the season at the worst possible time.
In the world's biggest stage.
Yeah. I go back and watch every Bronco game, and that was just disgusting. I would say their best game of the season was probably the AFC Championship game.
The championship games were the ones to watch. Like the Seahawks, the Seahawks 49ers game at the NFC Championship game, that was actually kind of good.
That was a good game. That was a good game.
It was just Colin Kaepernick was I don't know how to describe it.
The AFC Championship game was just Denver fucking annihilating New England.
Okay, well, that's probably not as exciting, though. Because it's one-sided. One-sided is not exciting. However...
Unless you're a fan of the team.
Unless you're a fan of the team. But to be honest... Yeah.
Apparently there were riots in Seattle last night. A friend of mine was... So you get those apps to listen to police radio?
Yes.
A friend of mine was listening to it after the Super Bowl last night, and apparently she heard some guys were lighting a couch on fire.
Okay, yeah. See, the Seahawk fans, I don't know.
Dude, God.
I don't know what to think. Like, they're really dedicated, but it gets to the point where I'm thinking, are they starting the 12-man cult right now?
Well, I
That
mean,
would be rude.
after a championship, this happens in a bunch of cities. I remember like a bunch of dudes in San Francisco. Giant Bob talked about this when San Francisco won the World Series. A bunch of dudes like tipped a bus over and like threw a couch on fire inside it. Like just fucking and like when the Lakers won a championship a little bit ago, uh, riots happened in L.A. That was going on during E3. Like they had to lock a bunch of people in restaurants during E3.
Oh yeah,
Fucking,
I think I heard about that.
I feel as though sporting events are slowly become like sporting championships in the home city of where we're like let's say like Seattle, LA, all those cities that won a championship recently, just completely are an excuse for people to go act like assholes. Like they actually do give a shit
Yeah, so let me
about
guess. So let me guess. It's like we won, so we get to do whatever we want.
yeah, we get to go fucking light a bus on fire. Great. Uh, let's see. Let's see. Oh, they have the parade route for the Seattle's championship. Everyone, for those of you who listen to the show, it's all the way down 4th Street. Then they take a right and continue, and then keep going south down. Street doesn't have a name on the map, so. All right, well, that's cool. Great. I look forward to next season. It's going to be, I have a feeling that the Broncos are going to be okay. Like they're still gonna be a good football team, especially considering the AFC sucks. And then I think about 2 years from now, we're gonna be terrible again.
To be honest, I don't think the next year's Broncos are going to be as good.
No,
Because after
no,
this,
they're not.
because after that kind of game, you're going to come in really demotivated.
I mean,
Like
I mean,
you blow something like that really hard, it's like it kind of ruins you for
I
a
mean,
little bit.
and looking at all the players we got to re-sign, unless Peyton Manning takes a pay cut or Champ Bailey probably will. We're not gonna be able to re-sign all the dudes we need to re-sign. So we're like we have to have a good draft this year. So I don't know. All right, well, I'm done with football talk for now till the draft. Come draft time, I'll get happy again. But right now, I'm just kind of
Speaking of the draft, you will never, ever, ever want me to be your draft guy. Ever.
Why?
Well, I'm very bad at picking players in the draft, apparently. In Madden games. Like, I would be like, ooh, I'm going to draft this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy. However, what I failed to do is come up with backup plans in case that guy is not available. Because someone else took him a bit too early. So apparently I'm just really bad. So I ended up with like a load of mediocre players when it's all said and done. So I'm not very good.
What I do is I sign some really high profile free agents, and then trade them to go higher up in the draft, along with my picks. So
yeah, but you play without a salary cap.
That's true. Even with a salary cap, you can still do something similar though. Like I mean. It's just that you have to be willing to, make those trades. Anyway, like I said, I'm probably going to be kind of bummed out and disappointed in the Broncos until the draft. Draft will come, and I don't know. They've actually done pretty well in their past couple drafts, so I'm hoping that trend continues. I don't even know really who's the big talent this year. Like this was first time in a while where I'm actually going into the draft going, I don't know who we should take. I know that we need to make sure Paris Lennon doesn't start in a football game ever. We could definitely use some corners. As for on offense, we're fine if we can re-sign everyone. Like that offense is fine as long as we re-sign everyone.
So. For the Bears, offense is pretty darn awesome. We the Bears, like, these are not like I think Al Michaels kind of said it best on that Sunday night. This is not the Papa Bears. Like, the Papa Bears is a running football team with great defense. Just think the '85 team. Problem is, Mark Trestman came in, and that's not the Bears that people originally thought of, because you're now talking about the Bears being the second highest scoring team in the league behind Denver. Okay,
Yep.
so there's pretty much nothing wrong with our offense, as far as I could tell. Even because the defense isn't getting interceptions and returns for touchdowns like it used to. So offense is great. We just need to solve defense.
Yeah.
Hey, we need some linebackers. Hey, we need some defensive linemen.
Yeah.
Yeah, Julius Peppers can't do everything, And
Yeah,
having
so-
Henry Melton out for the season just kind of wrecked it.
Yeah, not having Von Miller or Ryan Clady really kicked us in the nuts. Anyway, let's move forward. So video games, those are things we play, right? We play those.
We play video games. I'm playing a video game right now.
What video game are you playing right now?
I'm playing a video game that doesn't require much brain power to play while talking. It's called Grand Theft Auto 5. I'm just driving around the city, really. Los Santos is amazing. It really feels like LA.
So recently I rented Tomb Raider Definitive Edition, and like I said last year, it is a really good game, and now it is prettier. And in the case of the version I'm playing, it runs at 60 frames. The short version is, if you haven't played that game, you should absolutely go buy it for the new systems. If you have played it, I would just wait until it's significantly cheaper. I played that Dragon Ball Z Battle of Z. Really fun co-op game with some really cool ideas. Single player is kind of boring, especially because the AI doesn't do at least what you want it to do. So, like, you want to do these chain attacks and you want to, like, gang up on a guy, but you can't because the AI is too stupid. Anything else? Caught Zapdos and Pokemon X and Y. So now I have all the legendaries that you can get on your cartridge. What else? That's about it. Not much like that, and of course, WoW. But we can't talk about that here. I've been playing the look for. Yeah, I've been playing a great real life game called Look for a Job, because your current job is still setting up their office and get all their licenses and shit. It kind of sucks, especially because you keep getting this debuff called Reno unemployment.
It's an AOE debuff, isn't it?
Yeah, it hits your entire group. And it's 10%. So 10% debuff. So yeah, that's been giving me real trouble. Don't have much gold. Need to get lots of gold. All right.
Man, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Anyway, other than that, not much. I kind of want to get back into Mario because I'm towards the end of it, like the end. But I'm not in the mood. Recently, I just haven't been in the mood to play games that require me to think or be skilled. So it's like, oh, Tomb Raider, that's shooting and climbing. All right, I can do that. Dragon Ball, that game's so easy, it's a joke. It's like, okay, wow. Everything except, most things, I could be a potato.
Doing your daily quests. I'm a potato.
Exactly.
Clap, clap, clap.
Clap.
Oh, good. That's still working.
Started Final Fantasy IX. That's pseudo turn-based combat, so that's also just, I don't know. Yeah, so not much new stuff. Like I said, March is when it gets crazy, because March, Demon Souls, South Park, Titanfall, Metal Gear, uh, Infamous, and Final Fantasy. That is a crazy month. That is madness.
Mm.
Anyway, so
I mean, to be honest, February in general seems like a pretty nice time if you enjoy games from Japan. Bravely Default comes out in a few days.
yeah, we
13.3 if you're somehow into that.
I played that. Hey, that's actually something. I played the demo for that.
I played that demo too, actually, so I can talk about it too.
I like the combat system, and I also like how it does the Final Fantasy X-2 thing where you change outfits.
Yeah.
God, that sounded really gay.
Yeah, I played the demo also. Yeah, gameplay wise, it's more fun. It's more interesting, at least, because you're not mashing A now. You're mashing like 4 different buttons and swapping different soul pieces, from how I understand it. And so it's more fun to play. However, a lot of the things I didn't like about 13 original still exists in 13.3, and that's probably why I really don't like it.
Yo, bro, you want to walk down a hallway? We got you.
Well, it's not the hallway part that's driving me insane. I mean, the hallway, okay, to be honest, the hallway in 13, while I didn't like it, it wasn't like what made me really annoyed. It's the really convoluted story, along with lousy dialogue paired with bad voice acting, and an over flamboyant, obsessive graphics art style. It's just like,
so Final Fantasy games.
I'm sorry. I play 14. I've played Final Fantasy 4. I've played Final Fantasy 4. I play 14 a lot, and
okay, let me rephrase. Every Final Fantasy since 7.
Maybe
So,
I didn't play Final Fantasy 10 yet, so I don't know. It's just
yeah,
like
Final Fantasy 10
it's
is a little
just
bit
that
about it, but yeah.
the gameplay flat out doesn't come anywhere near the immaculately crafted visual fidelity that Square Enix is doing with 13. It's just like they're having effects fly everywhere on all these gigantic, intricately, moving machines, and it's just like.
So this is.
First off, I need to understand what the hell is going on. All I understand about 13.3 is that there's 13 days until the end of the world, and that Snow has somehow gone rogue. That's like all that I can make sense of in this colossal cinematic and whatever little of the demo I played.
So we have talked about Final Fantasy 13 so much on this show that Square Enix should cut us a check.
No, they wouldn't cut us a check because I'm constantly bashing 13 the entire time, and still am.
So the Final Fantasy 13 is very pretty.
It is very pretty.
I liked the soundtrack. You dislike a lot of the characters, and so do I. But I actually like some of them. I like Zaz. I like Lightning.
Yeah, but he's really generic, and the only reason why you liked him was because everyone else was so bad. Okay.
I liked Lightning. They made female Cloud. I'm okay with that. And then I'm gonna be honest. Part of my like of Snow probably comes from the fact that I am a big Troy Baker fan, but I also like Snow. Vanille and Hope can go jump off a bridge, but
the voice actors don't solve the problem. I mean, they could solve it a little bit, but they don't solve the problem. Okay, the voice actor of Lightning is the same voice actor as Liara Tassoni from Mass Effect, and I really like Liara Tassoni from Mass Effect. However, same voice actor didn't like Lightning at all. Okay, sure, Lightning looks nice, but I just keep thinking that Lightning is a one-dimensional person who's constantly pissed off at everything.
To be fair, at least Lightning makes sense.
If that's Cloud, I don't want to play Final Fantasy VII.
At least Lightning makes sense as a character and works.
I know, but it's just one-dimensional person.
Vanille makes no sense.
Vanille probably makes a little less sense than Lightning, because at least in the case of Lightning, you understand why she's pissed off all the time. One, she hates the fact that Snow's dating her sister in the original game, which was a little funny, actually. Then, of course, her whole history with the Guardian Corps, whatever, that military branch is. Vanille makes literally... What?
I'm saying this right now. I think we should do 60-minute access of this game.
Maybe. I mean, we do have the demo.
I mean original 13.
Oh, original 13. Well, it depends what part we start with. That is a 55-hour game, and I actually do have a save at every beginning of every chapter, actually. We can pick some good starting points.
Yeah, and I have a save right in the dead center of it. So
yeah, I have a save at the beginning of every chapter, so we're good to go on that one. But yeah, Vanille makes less sense to Lightning, because at least Lightning, she has reasons to be pissed off that you find out later. Vanille, she's just overly like. I understand that some people don't let hard times weigh them down as much, which is great. But Vanille is like, you do realize what's happening, don't you? I mean, she does have an emotional breakdown at one point. I forgot why.
I think that was chapter 7.
Yeah, Vanille has an emotional breakdown at one point in the story. But other than that, I'm just happy. And like Joe describes his hate for all the characters quite nicely.
Vanille doesn't need to worry about overthinking. She needs to worry about ferrets making a nest in her head. Alright, we should move on Final Fantasy now.
And Hope, well, we already talked about that. Fang was really Fang was just kind of boring, really. I mean, Fang wasn't really that bad, but she just had no quality that you could talk about. Just kind of a little easy to forget. I mean, yeah. And Saz was the least awful out of everybody, so I guess that's why he was the closest anybody ever liked to a main 13 protagonist.
I have a poster of this game on my wall.
Well, the poster looks great, and Lightning looks great. It's just the moment she opens her mouth or does anything, that's where I really start to dislike Lightning. It's just, oh, man. And from how I understand it, I mean... those archetypes, I think that's what they call it, are quite common, I think. I mean, like, Final Fantasy has these archetypes, kind of like cookie-cutter type characters or whatever, and I'm pretty sure 13 does that, but they don't translate very well into English, apparently. It's just annoying. But
man, hey, do you want to know an RPG that like came to America and is really good? You should probably play if you like Final Fantasy when it wasn't bullshit.
What, Bravely Default?
That's one. Ino Kuni. There are a couple. So moving on. Play anything else?
Yeah, I just bought Super Mario 3D World last night.
How far are you?
I got to World 3, which is where we started our 60-minute access run, actually. Funny enough. It puts a smile on my face. You just can't help but smile when you play that game. It just makes me happy. I mean, even when I'm not aware of it. For some reason, it just kind of has this really cool quality about it. And it's my kind of Mario game. Now, to be honest, I really like Super Mario 64. It's amazing. But Super Mario 64 and Mario Galaxy, those are not my kind of Mario games. However, Super Mario 3D Land and 3D World are definitely my Mario games because quick, simple levels that you can take your time with or speed run through, kind of 3D but still 2D in a sense. And
I would say if I had to rank the 3D Marios, I would say Galaxy 2, Galaxy 1, 64, and Sunshine tied for the last spot.
Yeah, 3D World is just so much fun, and it's better than 3D Land. I don't know how to describe how it's better than 3D Land, but I played 3D Land. I thought this is my kind of Mario game. It just needs to be a little better, and 3D World is that little better. So it's like, wow, so much charm, so much fun. Makes me smile. So
Penny Arcade, I think in their We're Right awards, said it right. For being a time travel machine that can still make children out of grown-ass adults.
Yeah. Yeah.
Silence. Hello.
Yeah, I'm here.
I also think the other Last of Us one is completely true. Anyway, so Mario, anything else?
Uh, Not really. That's about it. Um,
Yeah, we're kind of adult
I've been spending a lot of time with games that you could just kind of mess around with for long periods of time and not really get bored. Like GTA 5, all I do is just drive around the city. I don't know if I've talked about finishing
Yeah.
Wind Waker on this podcast yet.
Oh no, we haven't.
I
We
have.
have not
I
talked about.
haven't. Yeah, like I wasn't really sure if I talked about it or not, but I finished Wind Waker with him last week, and
All right.
I like it. It's not my kind of Zelda game, but I quite like it, especially the second half. For some reason, I just didn't enjoy the first half, which is why it took me forever to finish it. But once you get past the Tower of the Gods, and you gotta go start doing the whole start carrying a companion with you throughout the dungeons, and that was actually quite a lot of fun. The Triforce Shard hunting quests, which everyone hated from the original game, they made it. They made it better. You still have to hunt for all 8 shards, but now there's only 3 maps instead of 8 maps, so you save some money.
That's
And don't have
a lot better. And you start with a bigger wallet.
And yeah, possibly, yeah. But I don't know about the wallet. I kind of hunted for a big wallet pretty early. So, yeah. I like it. It's a Zelda game. Quite a charming Zelda game. It's very beautiful to play in 1080p. It's so gorgeous.
Yes, that game looks fantastic.
I wish they could just start updating the music, though, because in Ocarina of Time for the 3DS, they updated the visuals on it. But they didn't update the sound, so you still have like the jarring MIDI music going on. Same with Wind Waker. You still have the same jarring MIDI music going on as well. Yeah. But other than that, it's traditional Zelda. Yeah, not much else to say there. Swift Sail made sailing a lot easier, especially, and the warping. That's probably why I also found the second half of the game a lot easier, is that I don't have to sail halfway across the map to get anywhere because I have warping and a swift sail with me.
Yeah, see, you and I have different opinions on art, like fucking Zelda transportation, because you actually like traveling around in Twilight Princess, and I am just like, fuck this empty field.
Fuck the empty sea.
And
yeah, it's a very colorful sea of light blue everywhere. Light blue sky, light blue sea with some waves and occasional shark. Honestly, from how I understand, I kind of prefer like lush plains more than water and desert. At least you and I both agree we don't like.
I definitely hate deserts.
I know. Well, you and I both agree. Desert. Yeah, you and I both agree we don't enjoy traversing through long deserts. Why? Because driving through the state of Nevada is like that, and it's really boring.
But one thing, like me, I really like. I fucking like. There's only really 2 of them that I can name, but I've loved them both. The traversal in both, and it's Assassin's Creed and Wind Waker. Something about sailing the ocean and just exploring the ocean and finding stuff in the ocean is appealing to me. Other types of zones I really like in games are... How would I describe Grizzly Hills? I guess mountains?
It is like... Yeah, it's like the mountain forest.
Yeah, like I like the mountain forest. That's always an area I enjoy. Yeah, I don't know, man. Just... I felt like I think part of the reason why I really got into Wind Waker's ocean more than Twilight Princess's field is because like on the ocean it's like, oh, there could be anything out there. It's the fucking ocean. You know, versus like Twilight Princess.
Speaking of which, I think I just remembered my favorite kind of traversal.
Yeah.
Space.
Yeah.
Because space is cool. Well, the problem is that space... I know there's some problems with traveling in space, but with the ocean, you kind of, or at least in the real world, you know what's going to happen. You've mapped the entire planet. You already know where everything is. Maybe there's like one or two spots we haven't seen. And whenever you go through a forest, it's kind of the same thing, really. You just see trees everywhere. However, in space is beautiful. That's probably why I liked Mass Effect so much. Yeah. Space is beautiful. You don't know what's out there. That's like the new frontier. Because we've explored just about almost every place on this planet, I think. On planet Earth, but space, you know nothing about it. You don't even know if other life exists out there yet. So, yeah. So traveling through space is cool, even though it's a gigantic void at the same time.
Yeah. So, you finished Wind Waker, man. That had to be one of the most gruesome deaths of Ganon ever.
Children's game, everybody.
Yeah.
Cartoons.
Cartoons.
Right up until the
Yep.
Right up until literally the last moment. Yeah, stab Ganon in the head. Wow.
Yes.
Wow. Like I already know that Link was gonna stab Ganon in the head, but even then watching it when it was finishing the game was like, oh. Whoa.
You forgot about this, didn't you?
No, I didn't forget about it. It's just that watching it in person just seems more questionable.
So we should probably get into news. That's important.
Yeah, so here's some old news that we didn't cover on Unscripted, but probably should have. Hey, Apple, I don't know what the numbers are. Apple sold a record number of iPhones and a record number of iPads. So, yeah.
You are telling me Apple products are selling well?
No, they don't. No, they're not just selling well. They're breaking records again, selling well. Which, considering that Apple's hasn't really done anything mind-blowing for a little while now, that's like, holy shit.
Yeah, but like, they're still the brand.
I know they're still the brand, but they haven't. I can't remember the last time Apple introduced the next big thing since iOS 7. And even then, iOS 7, I didn't hear anything super, but still, it's like, you saw a record number of iPhones and iPads. That's wow.
You know what's kind of scary as hell? Like, the thought of...
What?
The fact that, like, when we're our parents' age, that it's probably going to be... We're going to probably be at the point where, like, Mac and PC are going to be even. Because, like, our generation buys Macs like crazy. Like, they straight up...
Yeah.
Like,
because our generation don't understand the concept of... I don't know. Saving money.
Well, yeah. But, I mean, to be fair, like, Macs are good products. I mean, they're really well built.
They are good products, but if you're looking for just the internet use and web browsing, yeah. $1,200 to do that. Yeah.
I mean, what is the cheapest Mac laptop right now? It's some version of the Air.
It's probably $1,000.
It's 11-inch Air for $1,000.
Because why would Apple sell a cheap Mac when you have the iPad?
Yeah. Which, even then, that's kind of expensive.
Yeah,
but,
well...
I mean, Mac Mini isn't too horribly priced. Like, $600. $800 if you want one that is a quad core. Like, that thing isn't horrible. iMac is where prices just start to go bananas, and Mac Pro.
Yeah, but Mac Pro, to be honest, the average consumer doesn't buy Mac Pro. The Mac Pro is like for like maybe people like us if we're like doing some ridiculous rendering projects or 3D graphics, that kind of stuff. Then you would need a Mac Pro. Because let's be honest, I remember I built an older Mac Pro about like 2 or 3 years ago on their custom computer builder. It's actually possible to make a Mac Pro cost $13,000. And then you have to start asking yourself, could you buy a car?
How much would
you like to buy a car? Or 10 MacBook Pros? Or 6 Falcon Northwest computers?
I mean, yeah. So
to be honest, the 10 MacBook Pros and 6 Falcon Northwest computers won't have anywhere near as much power as the Mac Pro that I built, but you really start to ask yourself, for the same amount of money, you can buy this.
So,
like I said, that machine is like for like really intense users.
but like I was saying, for $1,200, the regular MacBook Pro is there, and then there's the one Retina display for a little more. And I think our generation is slowly inching its way towards it's going to be like a 50-50 split. Because, I mean, you like go to a college campus, they're everywhere. They're just like, it is like a plague.
How should I put this without sounding insulting? The only reason why you bought a PC is because you couldn't afford a Mac.
Ooh,
That's what it probably seemed like. Because every PC laptop I've seen, none of them are fancy ultrabooks. None of them are, Falcon Northwest computers. They're not Alienwares. They're not like Dell XPS. They're not the HP Spectres. Like every student laptop that I see on campus is usually some $600 to $800 laptop, and then everything else is Mac, like MacBook Pros, which kind of shows you who had $1,500 to spend on a computer and who didn't. Or they were like people like me who thought, I don't really have a need for a $1,500 Mac at the moment.
Or the people who did buy Macs financed, which that is.
I don't know. I don't know if they financed or not, but the thing is that, how should I describe this? Our generation was basically raised on, or basically a generation just kind of gathered around Apple, because let's be honest here, Apple started its major comeback was probably in the early 2000s with the original iPod. And guess what? What did everyone in our middle school wanted? They all wanted iPods. Sure, it only holds 2 gigabytes of music, so you couldn't put much on it.
I wanted a Creative Zen Nano.
And I didn't have an MP3 player at all. But people wanted the iPod. The iPod was the thing. And then when Apple came up with the smartphone, why do our generation want iPhones? Well, it is the same generation that grew up with the iPod, so therefore, would you like an iPod, except only it can now call people and can do all these app things. And in addition to that, now that you're in college, you need a Mac computer. And Apple makes computers that are aluminum brush and have ridiculous Retina display feature thingies.
Yeah, no, it like
our entire generation. Like, yes, it probably may not make that much financial sense to purchase a Mac, considering that a Windows PC is better value. But when you're talking about Apple's build quality and you're talking about a generation that was raised on Apple, they'll buy it even if it costs $1,200. And they'll buy the iPads.
And the thing is like, I was a journalism major in college, and when I go back, I will continue walking that path. And like, I didn't own a Mac, but everyone else in my class did. And what did we work on when we had to work on shit? Macs. All like, if you go into a journalism classroom.
I mean, you think about it. It's also about image, because our generation probably is a bit too image conscious. Maybe. I mean, image is kind of important. Okay, so you think about it, you've got two options. You can be the young, high-quality, innovative Apple, or you can be like the old blokes software company called Microsoft, ran by Bill Gates. I mean, Apple kind of did that with their commercials. Hi, I'm a Mac, and I'm a PC. Would you like to be the young man who's really cool and into new things, or do you want to be the old software bloke ran by Bill Gates?
So one thing I actually want to talk about is when I talk about Apple, you want to know what's a product that I would actually buy of theirs that I love the fact that they still sell it? An iPod Classic.
Well, you name me a music player out there that can hold 120 gigabytes of music.
160.
160, sorry, yes. You think about it, how many can hold 160 gigabytes of music? To be honest, to put 160 gigabytes into an iPhone would make it astronomically expensive. Because you think, because the iPod Classic, essentially, they actually put a little tiny hard drive inside of it. That's how it holds 160 gigabytes without, breaking your arm. But you think about it, the most, what's the most music that phones can hold these days? 64 gigabytes, 128?
I think it's the
Yeah,
64 gig.
like 128 gigabytes of flash memory is still expensive. So until we reach that point, the iPod Classic will still exist for those who have ridiculous amounts of music to listen to.
Like I really thought about it for a second. I'm just like, if I buy one of those, I'm never ever gonna have to buy an MP3 player ever again.
Until the disc platter breaks because you dropped it.
Ah, fuck you.
Do you know something else that's also really awesome that I like about the iPod line?
What?
The iPod Nano still has the ability to tune to FM radio. Which, if you're a person like me,
nice.
Which if you're a person like me who does not own much music but wants to listen to the radio to get more music variety, that's pretty awesome to have FM radio. But it's only on the iPod Nano, though. But for me, though, the iPod Nano is actually my kind of music player because my iPod Touch has kind of reached the end of its lifespan. My Android can run apps, so all I need is just a good music player. And
Anthony, for you, the Nano was perfect. Like 16 gigs, and it's $150.
16 gigs, $150. I can listen to FM radio wherever I am.
It comes in whatever color you want it.
Yeah, my Android handles my apps. So, all I need is just a good MP3 placement player because my iPod Touch is starting to have a faulty audio jack connector. So, the Nano's nice, and it's tiny, and it has a touchscreen. So, yay.
I don't know who the hell buys the Shuffle. Like, I have no idea who buys that. Like, it is... Who the fuck...
I guess it's like one of those things where it's like, I am desperate for an iPod, but don't have more than $50.
Like, I desperately need an MP3 player.
I desperately need something that says iPod on it. I mean, you think about it, that thing doesn't even have a screen. So you don't know what song's going to happen next, right?
Yeah, it's called the Shuffle, man. And it's 2 gigs for $50. I don't know. Like, I guess if you're really, really young and need a first MP3 player,
yeah, but chances are you probably have a 3DS, and that works pretty darn well, too, as an MP3 player. It's just bulky.
Yeah, but, like, if you're not a gamer, which, I mean, that could be. Some people just don't play video games.
Yeah.
Weirdos. But, like, if you just fucking just desperately need an MP3 player, and you have a cheapo cell phone and da-da-da-da-da-da, you just need a fucking MP3 player. No! Like, I guess that's the market it's for? I don't know.
It's an iPod Shuffle. I don't get it.
You got me.
I don't know. I think the last time I saw an ad for it was a person exercising while using it. Because it's not as big. So when you're running, it's kind of easier, but that's about it.
Yeah. So one big thing from the Super Bowl that I actually looked into was that we'll buy you out of your cell phone plan thing, and now now I am seriously considering T-Mobile. I was like, well,
you might want to look up if their network is actually any good.
Yeah, I will, but
because you might want to look up to see if the network's actually any good. Yeah, T-Mobile. Yeah, since we're on cell phones, we might as well talk about some cell phone news. T-Mobile's been doing this thing that's like, if you switch to them, they'll pay for your termination fee. I mean, obviously, I don't think they'll pay for your termination fee if you just started your new contract. I don't think they'll do that. But if you have like maybe a month, I know that if you have a month left, they will pay for your termination fee just so you switch over to them. Whether it's a good idea, I have no idea. I don't know how good T-Mobile is in Reno.
So yeah, I'm gonna look into how good T-Mobile is here, obviously, but so my mom doesn't really need or use her cell phone anymore, and she also has one of those government ones. I've just been paying for both of ours because we're both on contract. Otherwise, I would have just said, hey, you keep using that phone that that we got from the government, and then I'll keep my cell phone. But we're in contract, so if they will buy us both out of contract, and I sign up, like
I think both of you might have to. Because it is a family plan, right?
Yeah.
Probably have to sign a family plan, otherwise it's not worth it for them to pay that much money for termination for 2 people if only one is going to sign up.
Yeah. Ah, son of a bitch.
You might want to ask, though.
Oh, well,
I don't know. That's what I think they're going to tell you.
Yeah, I also might as well check because they might just have cheaper rates in general. So, who knows? Because my tax return's coming, and even after I pay some people back that I owe some money to, I would have enough money to get my mom and I new phones if we switched over. Because the thing is, they'll pay it, but you have to hop on a contract with them and get on plan with them and trade in your old phones. So we'd have to trade in our current iPhones for their iPhones, or whatever each of us wanted. Like my mom would probably stick with an iPhone. I probably would too at this point. I would probably just upgrade to a 5S or a 5.
5C. They don't have. I don't think they have the 5 anymore. It's just the 5C.
Then I will get a pink 5C with a green
cheap.
case.
5 cheap, huh?
Yep.
5 super or 5 cheap?
Absolutely. Yep. Which it is like the 5C is literally just a 5, except the back is made of plastic.
It's a cheaper 5.
Yep. So, happy 30th birthday to Mac and Apple, I guess. I like your phones, I guess. If this new job I got pans out, I might be buying one of your tablets.
For work, of course.
For work. And also to read books on. I don't know. Like, I've been really looking into an e-reader recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because, Anthony, I like to read a lot. And currently, my cell phone is my e-reader. Which is just the fucking worst.
Well, if you're in bed at night...
it is...
Okay, look, if you're in bed at night, that's actually not bad. But if you want to actually read on a desk, yeah, it sucks.
Really just read anywhere, but yeah. It is just it's horrible. It's just, so I started looking at Kindles, and I'm like, well, like I could get a really cheap Kindle to do it, but then, I don't know, maybe I should just see how this new job pans out and see how far my need for a tablet goes. Because if it's just like literally I'm just going to be using this thing for books, then yeah, fuck that, I'll just buy a Kindle. Yeah. I don't know what. Yeah, like they have what, that Fire HD for $130.
I actually don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
The only thing that kind of holds me back on Kindle is I already own like 6 books on iBook. I was like, shit. God damn it. This is how Apple trapped people. They're like, oh man, I bought an iPod. All my music is on iTunes anyway, so... Well, I guess this is where this is going.
Yeah, but if all that music has labels on it anyway, I'm pretty sure if you went to Android or Windows, they'll still take care of it.
Oh yeah, all the music does, but I mean, not your fucking, I don't even know how to pull my ebooks off of this thing and put them in a form that another reader would understand. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Alright, well. Anthony, do you read books? How often do you read? America doesn't read enough, Anthony.
Once a year?
1 book a year. That's actually better than the most of America. So...
Well,
congrats.
But at least my reading level is considerably high.
Yeah.
I don't read very often, but it's not like my reading level is that low.
Yeah, no.
It's actually pretty good.
I mean, the last time I took a reading test of any kind was right before high school ended, and it said I had a freshman in college reading level, and I was like, hey, that makes sense.
That's actually pretty good. That's
And then
actually quite Actually, that's pretty good. Yeah.
And then I remembered, oh man, seventh grade me would be really fucking ashamed because he read at a college junior level. Oh shit.
Oh well. Hey, that's still better. Okay. I mean, what was it? It went from what is it? America's average went from sixth grade reading average to fourth grade reading average. What?
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if that's actually true, I'm just like, wait, what now? You're telling me that show, if you're smart, like, what was it called? Are you smarter than the fifth grader? Probably has a point to it. It's to humiliate the adults who don't know anything.
Yeah. So.
Speaking of
that's
books,
Apple
though,
News.
Speaking of books, though, there's a book I am going to be reading soon. It's by Richard Knack. It's called Warcraft. What's it called? World of Warcraft: Dawn of the Aspects. Been interested in that book. It's been interested in that book. The problem is it's been released as an ebook version only, but they now have printed paperback versions, which I'm going to get soon. Like once a year I read a gaming book. Like 2 or 3 years ago, it was Mass Effect Retribution, which was the book between Mass Effect 2 and 3. And last year it was The Shattering, the World of Warcraft The Shattering, which is good.
So right now I've been actually reading that one more. I finally got around to Tides of War, and I finished Jam, and I finished that how Nintendo Conquered America book, and now I kind of want to read Critical Path, How to Review Video Games for a Living. And I also kind of want to go back. I kind of want, like, I've watched Game of Thrones, but I've never actually read it, so now I kind of want to read it. So, yeah. Is there, like, a fan going on in your background, or what's up? Window open, maybe?
No, there's no fan.
Okay. Well, anyway, we got news.
So that Apple News was like 2 weeks ago, but none of us ever mentioned it, even though it was a big deal at the time. So, news.
So PlayStation Plus, it's updating its. Oh, sorry. Do you want to go, or should I just keep going?
Yeah, I can keep going. I don't know how bad the voice lag is.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I would talk, and then you would talk back 2 seconds, 3 seconds after a silent pause.
God damn it!
I don't know. It seems to be working fine up to this point. I just kind of have to wait a bit.
All right. Well, PlayStation Plus continues to be a huge success, and this month's games have been revealed. Vita owners, sadly, are not getting anything new, but PS4 owners are getting the horror game Outlast. It is a first-person survival horror game, and you play as investigative journalist Miles Upshur and explore Mount Massive Asylum and try to survive long enough to discover its terrible secrets. So, and then for the PS3, you are getting Metro Last Light. So, hey everyone, have a scary February. Holy shit, that rhymed. Alright, go ahead, Anthony.
Okay, so in wake of Nintendo's financial disappointment, the president, Satoru Iwata, has stated that they are they're now going to start looking more aggressively for mergers and acquisitions. In addition to that, Nintendo is also looking forward to be more aggressive with their virtual console, such as bringing DS games to the Wii U and Game Boy Advance games to the 3DS.
Okay.
So the virtual console port, I'm just like, why didn't you guys do that already? And as for them looking for more acquisitions and mergers, stuff like that, whatever it is. That's actually great news because Nintendo, they're actually very smart as far as picking their developers for the most part. The last huge developer that did great things for them was Monolith Soft. Those people made like the Xenogears games back in the PlayStation 2 days. Nintendo had them join in as like a first party, and then they cooperated with. They co-developed Skyward Sword. They made Xenoblade Chronicles. They're making the upcoming Project X game. So Monolith Soft is very good. It's actually one of my favorite developers, and they're very, very good. So, yeah. And everyone knows about Retro Studios. So.
All right, so next up is PlayStation 4 update 1.6 is coming out soon, and Sony is releasing another headset. It is the Gold wireless headset. Not really much else. It's going to have custom sound modes, just like the Elite does. They're patching it in. If you have a Pulse or Pulse Elite, you're going to be able to use those now on PS4 without a mix amp. And Infamous Second Son is going to have its own sound mode for those headsets.
Okay,
so
nice.
There you go, everyone.
Hey, would you like a hugely shocking sales number?
Sure.
It has been less than 6 months since September, right? Yes, it has been
October, November, December. Yep.
Grand Theft Auto 5 has shipped 32.5 million copies.
Dear God. My just holy hell.
Yeah. Grand Theft Auto 5 on only 2 game systems shipped 32.5 million.
Well, we have our winner for the generation. Alright.
Sales leader right there.
I'm saving a lot of this stuff for the raid because they are MMO stories. So I guess I will go to this one.
Well, we can just give it like a quickie 30-second thing like we've been doing with all our other news stories so far.
Okay, well, I'll do this one first anyway. Hey, some Best Buys, not all, it depends on your local Best Buy, have too many Vitas in stock. And to get rid of them, they are selling them for $100.
Is this like the old LED screen Vitas?
Yes, those are the only ones in America still. So,
okay.
For those of you who really want a Vita, go check your Best Buy. $100. That system is worth a lot more than that. So.
Okay. Let's see. Man, I just lost my news, but I'll just say another one. Hey, I keep talking about how Final Fantasy XIV has an amazing soundtrack.
Yes.
Even though you won't believe me, really. Because our taste in music is just really different. I just apparently like really good traditional stuff. But anyways, for those who like freaking love Final Fantasy music and really like Final Fantasy XIV music like me, they're actually going to finally put a soundtrack out of the game and includes the music from patch 2.1. There's only 2 problems. The first one is that it costs $50. And the second reason...
Well, how many tracks is in it, though?
It's all the music from the Realm Reborn and patch 2.1 of that same game. So I'm guessing a lot. However, the reason why it costs $50 is that they're not putting this on music CDs. They're putting it in as a Blu-ray disc. The music is in Blu-ray disc, and I think it comes with video of the Blu-ray disc, but it also includes MP3s of the actual music, so you can actually put it on your iPod or your Android phone, or make your own CDs to listen to the music. But you need a Blu-ray player because this is like the only format they're providing. So if you play FF14 on a PS3, you are good. But if you play it on the PC and don't have a Blu-ray drive, because you don't have a PS3 or an Xbox One or a PS4, you're kind of out of luck for the time being. But anyways, another great thing about Blu-ray music is that because it is
Blu-ray, you get like
Compressed.
amazing sound quality, like really good bit rates on your files, and on the videos that you watch that comes with the music. So it's up for pre-order right now. It's coming out in April, which I think is going to launch about the same time as the PS4 version of the game of FF14. So yeah,
my experience with that game soundtrack was like what you showed me on that USB stick and what little of it I can find on YouTube.
Yeah, Square Enix just cracks down on anybody who posts the music on YouTube. Which is kind of odd, considering they could have done that to, I don't know, 13, 13.2, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and everything else. It's just kind of weird. Maybe it's one of the composers has some contract thing going on that allows them to not, let it be on YouTube at all. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
So, recent news about the Elder Scrolls Online is going on, and the Imperial Edition has been leaked. What you get in this Imperial Edition? Hold on, it's loading up. You get a bunch of stuff. You get a collector's edition box and steel packaging, a statue of Molag Bal, a Daedric Prince of Domination and Enslavement, a map of Tyrael, Emperor's Guide to Tyrael, a 224-page illustrated book, and the only way you can choose to play as an Imperial is if you buy this edition of the game.
Wait, what? Wait,
yes.
So how expensive is this edition?
Let's see. $100.
I think that last bit is bullshit. I'm sorry, you say this is the only way you can play as a normal human being is to spend $100 on this? That makes no sense. That makes zero sense. Because now you're just pissing anybody off who wants to play that particular... That's like saying, in Final Fantasy XIV, if you want to be a Dragoon, you have to buy the Dragoon edition and sacrifice your soul to the altar of Dragoons and pay $120 just so you can play that certain class. That's just locking people out, except for those who have a lot of money. So, like what, I have to pay to be human in the game?
Okay, this is what it says. Exclusive collection of digital content. Play as an Imperial, become an Imperial, and play in any alliance. Gain unique bonuses, crafting styles, and gear, and more. White Imperial Horse. Summon this Imperial mount. Journey through Tamriel with speed. Mud Crab Vanity Pet. This physical Imperial edition is extremely limited and available for pre-order now for retailers for $100. The online edition with the base game and all the digital content will be $80.
I think that's just a great bonus if you plan on playing as an Imperial. Because locking out a race makes no sense, especially because, no, they are. This is legit. They are locking that race out unless you buy one of those editions. Well, then now why should you play the game? I'm sorry. That's like saying you have to pay for the human edition of World of Warcraft Warlords of Draenor to play as a human. Would anybody do that? Like, well, I'm sorry, Imperials are just like normal people. Like, there's nothing really ultra cool about them, okay? They're just average dudes and ladies just doing things, okay? I mean, that's just one of the standard races in Tamriel. I mean, to lock humans out and say, if you want to be a human, you gotta pay for it. Really?
Well, yeah, that's how it is. That is what they are doing.
I really don't...
Maybe, okay, the only advantage to an Imperial is the fact that goddamn this forum, is the fact that you can choose to be in any alliance. Yeah. Also, the response to this forum post is, that's racist.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
It is. Because it's like, only the people with the money, only the 1% can play as an Imperial. Occupy Bethesda, everybody. Get it going.
I think that's going a bit far. $100. I wouldn't say the $100 constitutes the 1%.
I don't know. I just think that, look.
I mean,
first off,
you're ass broke right now.
Look, a lot of people, like, oh my goodness. $100. Like, how should I put this? As much as Bronson and I tried to explain that $60 for an MMO isn't exactly a bad idea, especially if you spend a colossal amount of time on it, a lot of people on the internet complain about paying $60 for an MMO, in addition to paying $15 per month every month after the first month. Okay, people talk about cost. So do you think anybody? Do you think that the gaming public, which has complained a lot about paying $60 for any new MMO these days, is willing to pay $100 just so they can play a human and have some cool human things? Probably not, because I wouldn't.
Put this in perspective for everyone, though, if you want a collector's edition of Vanilla Warcraft that hasn't been opened, it's $2,500.
Wow, man. At least it's an actual collector's edition when you're talking about that kind of price tag.
Yeah, because that is rare. Like, finding an unopened one of those.
Finding an unopened anything of a game that people want is extremely rare. Like what? We looked up Chrono Trigger one time and just like no.
Yeah, no, but like I go over to Wrath of the Lich King. It's like new for $280. Like, okay, if I had money, that would be a pill I'd be willing to swallow, especially because that's my favorite expansion. Okay, Burning Crusade, $230. You know,
maybe there was something in that original that was just highly coveted.
Let's see what it was.
Yeah. Well, might as well keep it short and simple because we don't want to get that deep into the subject again.
Yeah. We're obviously
still
going to bring this up during the raid, but
I know, but still.
Okay. Assigned. Okay. Actually, this is pretty cool, and I kind of see why this is expensive, other than the fact that they only made 100,000 of them.
Wow.
Okay, you get a signed collector's edition of the manual, a cloth map of Azeroth, and let's see, cloth map of Azeroth, an exclusive in-game pet, which is Mini Diablo.
Okay, the pet, don't care. The signed is probably where it's really expensive.
Yeah.
Because when you sign something, like actually sign it yourself, suddenly it becomes more expensive. Yeah, but back to the Elder Scrolls Collector thing. You're locking out a race, and you have to pay $100 to play it. I somehow don't want to believe that. That makes no sense.
I don't want to believe a lot of horrible things. I don't want to believe there are some people who don't want to believe the Holocaust happened. It did.
Yes, but what we're talking
I'm not saying
this
is on par with the Holocaust, but...
Yeah, but what you're reading to me, I need to look into this, because it makes no sense. Why would you want to lock out the Imperials? Just... Because you would think that the Imperials is like... They're a big deal. I mean, they're kind of like an important part of Oblivion. And they were a pretty big deal in Skyrim. So you kind of would think there would be people who were willing to play as an Imperial, but, you know, why lock it out? That's just really dumb for me. Actually, I mean...
Hey, does anyone want to loan me $300 so I can get a factory-sealed copy of Wrath of the Lich King?
Maybe that tax return money can help.
Depends on how much I get. I might actually do that.
Yeah, you keep talking about it. I'm just like, oh, well, there is a way.
It's like, yeah, man. I don't know.
Just gotta buy a sealed copy, and all that it is just fancy treasure decoration for my home.
Basically, like, I mean, the thing is, I want to get the other two expansions because I own the current, the recent two, and I think it'd look really awesome having all four of them in line. Also, the extras in this are actually pretty sweet, as always. Special pets, special stuff. Moving forward.
Yeah.
Out of MMO land, we've gone here briefly.
We're talking about collector's editions, but it's just I don't.
Well, yeah, I mean,
I just don't buy collector's editions unless I don't know, like little small limited editions. Those I actually kind of buy depending on how much I care about the franchise. Like the Zelda. Actually, the Zelda one doesn't count.
The Zelda one, that was actually kind of big. Those are worth hella money now. Those, like, I kind of
well, the thing was is that I kind of bought that bundle out of necessity because I didn't have Wii Motion Plus, and I wasn't going to go out and attach some stupid peripheral onto my Wiimote to get Wii Motion Plus. So that's why I pre-ordered the bundle, and it comes with a soundtrack CD, which is because it's like the 25th anniversary of Zelda. So yeah, that was like sweet. So you know that's why I totally that's why.
Like, yeah, those things go for like 3 times what they sold for now.
$180.
Some of them go for 200 more. 200. More.
200. Yeah, but anyways, I kind of got that bundle out of necessity, and well, it's a Zelda, so you know when I care a lot, I actually go for limited editions. Like the Last Story, I pre-ordered the Last Story, so in addition to getting the premium soundtrack, I also get a pretty cool art book with it too. Like you know, like those kind of art books, pre-order bonuses, soundtrack kind of stuff, kind of get me. I mean, it's how I got the Last Story, and then there are limited editions like. If I really cared about Final Fantasy X, I probably would have jumped on board the Final Fantasy X train and said, yes, give me the art book, give me the soundtrack, please. Like, I'm a sucker for soundtracks and art books.
For me, it's making of DVDs and soundtracks.
Making of DVDs, I can see the point, because it's kind of rare that people ever get a glimpse of what it's truly like to make a game. Or how fun it can be, or how cool it can be to kind of see the whole, here's what was originally envisioned. Here's a concept art. Yeah, so, like stuff like that can be kind of cool.
Last year I bought one collector's edition, and that's because they gave me the upgrade for free, and it was Beyond Two Souls. God. I'm kind of bummed. I had the money at the time for the Last of Us collector's edition, but I just didn't want to pay for it because, you know, with a new IP, you're always kind of skittish when it comes to committing to a collector's edition. Man, do I wish I would have done that one. Just like, to this day, I still wish I would have done Wrath. But, let's see. Collector's editions I've done over the course of last gen. Beyond, Uncharted 3, Halo 3, Mists of Pandaria, Cataclysm, Zelda, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't buy collector's edition because you're thinking about it. You're paying an extra $20 or $30, and I always kind of think to myself, is it really worth it?
I mean,
like the Zelda bundle, totally worth it. 1, I love Zelda music. 2, I need Wii Motion Plus, and it comes with a golden Zelda Wii Motion Plus controller, which is awesome. So I kind of got that bundle out of necessity. Other bundles that I've got, Last Story, that was a pretty nifty pre-order bonus, actually. So, you know, I'm just really hesitant to buy collector's edition. Like, I thought about the Warcraft Cataclysm collector's edition for like 6 months. Which, looking back at it, I don't know why it took me that long to make up my mind. Probably because I actually did like Warcraft at the time, and probably because, Bronson, you wouldn't shut up about it.
Yep.
And I was so close to buying it too. It was like sitting right in front of me. It's like, you can buy it right now. And then, of course, being Black Friday, someone eventually bought it.
And then like a month, 2 months later, I went into the store and they had it again, and I was like, "Shut up! I'm buying this now. This plague could not be here anymore. Fuck it! I want that Deathwing pet for pet battles, which." He is still the all-star of my team.
Duh. It's Pet Deathwing Collector's Edition. Do you think you'll make him regular?
I don't know, but I would like to get the pet from the Frost Dragon from Wrath and Deathwing as my 2 mains.
Yeah, that's just cheap. That's like saying, I've got 2 legendaries! Ubers! Get banned. It's that you effectively have an Uber in your team is what you have right now.
I mean, yeah.
And like Ubers, in Pokemon at least, they get banned pretty easily.
Well, I'll say this. Like, Deathwing is great, but what's the name of that It's that frost dragon pet that you get for being in a guild.
That's not a frost dragon. That's just a blue dragon.
Or a blue dragon. Yeah, the blue
I
dragon.
forgot what the little name. I forgot what her name is.
Yeah, she is rated the same as Deathwing, but she sucks.
How can you be rated the same and suck?
She just doesn't have as good as skills.
Then that's not the same rating as Deathwing.
Okay, well, the same rarity. Anyway, moving forward.
I need to stop doing pet battles. It was a little frightening. It was frighteningly effective.
Yeah,
at the
man.
time.
Telling you right now, you should. Quinn's playing, and so are Mark and Roman.
I'm sorry, I do have this drug called FF14 that's, keeping me more interested right now than...
Don't worry. Warlords...
And then the established hit.
Warlords is coming, and I intend to buy you.
Oh, yeah, well, when it comes out. So I still have a year to think.
More like 8 months, but yeah.
Maybe 8 months. I don't know.
They're probably going
to release it on like the 10th anniversary, aren't they?
Oh, if it comes out in November, that'd be interesting.
I mean, that is pretty much the time to launch it, I think.
Yeah, because that'd be right after BlizzCon too. So.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm playing FF14, so I'm good for now.
Yeah,
now.
Man.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
All right. So other news. Microsoft is offering to pay $100 for your Xbox 360 or PlayStation 3, so you can save $100 on your Xbox One.
So I have a couple of things to add to this story that I found out. One, this is only at Microsoft stores. Like, you can't do it online. You have to go to a Microsoft store. So go murder a unicorn and drink its blood while sacrificing it to the Dark Lord, because that's the only way you find those damn stores. And then next off, it's for the 360s. It is only the newest 360s. For PS3, though, it is any PS3, which is kind of hilarious. Yeah, I don't know how to. This is kind of stupid.
Well, I think that the fact that you limit it to a Microsoft store kind of says... I mean, I don't think there's one in Reno, so anybody who lives in our city doesn't really have the opportunity to... Not only that, though, but the value of it doesn't seem to make much sense either. It's like, you could just save $100... You could just save as much money and keep your favorite PS3 or Xbox 360 and just go buy a PS4.
Because, I mean, really, most of the games are the same right now. I mean, unless you just fucking have to play Titanfall. Or Forza. Because I'm going to be honest, the general public, like, Titanfall, Forza, or Dead Rising, because Rise, from what most people tell me, is not good. It's not awful, but it's not good either.
A launch title, then. Or a launch window title, whatever they call it.
Yeah, and then Killer Instinct kind of is a niche market game. Like, I love Killer Instinct, and I think it's the best game on that system right now, but I also acknowledge that Killer Instinct is a fighting game. So,
I'm just like, you could also save $100 and keep your old system by buying a PlayStation 4.
Hey, Microsoft, you know, it'd be really great if you just cut the price of this thing by $100.
You know they're not going to do that. It's the top system in America right now.
Oh, I know.
For now.
Not
worldwide, but in North America, they sure like to brag about it.
Look, this is always.
We are king of North America. Therefore, we are king of gaming. Kind of.
Well, no. This is what. Okay, so this is from E3 2005, but like we were the best-selling console in North America during the holiday season. So let's say Q4. Let's just say October, November, December. It's just like, okay, original Xbox. I'm glad you had a good Q4. You've still sold 1/5 of what the PS2 did, like a lifetime. That's cute.
Hey,
and also,
any positive fact that they can spin around, they will do it.
Well, yeah. Welcome to marketing.
Reminds me of this one little joke that I saw on the internet one time. That's like saying, we offer
We offer the best fuel economy of a 4-door pickup truck with a V6 engine, a manual transmission, and no anti-lock brakes in red color.
Thanks. If you're going to be that specific, you might as well just give up.
All right, so next piece of news is Square Enix. The only way that you can get the collector's edition of Final Fantasy X/10-2 HD is through their website.
Yes, that's also where... Oh, yeah, I also forgot to mention that the FF14 soundtrack pre-orders, you can only get it through their website. The Square Enix store. Which, by the way, you also have to pay shipping for them. And the shipping times they gave you is, like, catastrophically long. So it's like, holy crap, people.
Fun fact, orders on their site over $100 are free if you're in the States.
Yeah, but that's like saying, I gotta order lots of overpriced items to save money on shipping.
Well, yeah. Well, in my case, it's only like I'm gonna get Final Fantasy X HD, so that's the collector's edition. So that's $80. So I only need to find an extra 20 to tack on, which I'm sure I'd be able to do. Like let's you know. Like,
well, let's see. What does Square Enix do? They published Deus Ex, Tomb Raider. They don't do Project Crossover. That's Capcom.
I mean, I could finally try out a Realm Reborn, I guess. That's $30.
Yeah, but then you'll be trying out the PS3 or PC version when really what you're going for is the PS4 version, which doesn't come out until April. You could pre-order, but I don't know if that counts towards your $100 for free shipping.
Oh, I could get the 3DS Kingdom Hearts game.
You could, yeah.
Or the HD Kingdom Hearts.
Or you could pre-order 2.5 HD remix.
That's okay. That would if they would do the shipping for that, I would think about that. But I could get 1.5 HD remix.
You can also like pre-order some.
Yeah, there are options, and if they let me pre-order, then I'll pre-order 2.5 HD remix. But there are options, and I'm a big figure fan, and they have tons of them in their store, like tons of really good ones. They're expensive too. That's the only real problem, but let's see. I'm gonna look through these real quick. Yeah, I don't know. Like 80 is a bit expensive though. That's my main issue with these. But
well, it's a Square Enix store.
Yeah,
this is an Amazon where they sell so many things in bulk that they can just give you savings almost everywhere.
Yeah, but these are like even more expensive than like at a con. Because you'll pay 50 to 60.
When you are the only place to get collector's edition, yeah, that stuff tends to happen.
See, I'm looking through all these characters. I don't know. Ken from Street Fighter would probably be a good one. The main character from Cowboy Bebop, Spike, the Joker. I don't know. They got some pretty good figures on here in the $60 range.
$60 range?
Hey, Anthony, that Lightning figure I paid $50 for. So.
Yeah, but oh my goodness.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, Anthony, you don't want to get into the collecting play arts thing. It's pricey.
I know, but but those in general, like normally every time I see figures, I always am reminded of, it's like a childhood toy. It'll be really cheap, like toys. But no, I haven't really seen a good one I haven't really seen a $50 figure in person, so I don't know how good the quality is. But I just kind of think to myself, it's just like they look like action figure toys, and I'm paying $50 for an action figure toy. No.
I think it depends.
I'm sorry. If it is a piece of plastic made in Asia, no.
I think it depends on if they're hand
I know it depends, but every time I just look at those things, they're most likely made in a third world country and will probably use the same kind of paint that they use in third world countries, and to charge $50 for that is going to be a problem. So I just can't. But then again, I have never had a good look at the quality of them.
So the thing with me that bothers me about these is I go on Amazon immediately and look at the same fucking figures and they're 40 to 30. So
yeah.
I don't know. I wonder if there's a section of their store that's $20 or less, because that's all I need to spend. That's a damn good question. Um. Oh well. Well. Hmm. I can't believe they still. Oh, I can buy a PS2 game. I buy the PS2 copy of Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah,
Oh
should still
god.
have that.
Yeah, they still sell both. Oh wait, no, they don't sell Kingdom Hearts 1. They sell Kingdom Hearts 2. New for $20.
Uh, uh,
You're dumbfounded.
I really don't know whether you could get that or just wait for the HD remix to happen.
Yeah, like why wouldn't you just wait and spend an
Because you
extra
have to have,
$20?
yeah, like you got to take out your PlayStation too, because PS3s aren't backwards compatible these days. So
Yeah.
you know,
So
like most PS3s are not backwards compatible.
see. They got oh, that's cool. What it is okay, so you know how on iPods you can hook in those splitters where you can hook in splitters to where you have two people listening to it,
Yes.
like on your iPhone.
Yes.
Yeah, they have those, like Final Fantasy ones. And they also have cell phone charms.
So,
Even though Hey, do you know what a cell phone charm is?
I think I know what. Well, you're gonna have to describe me what it looks like.
It's like it's mainly meant for Japan, but it's like you hook it to that little ring on flip phones, and like you hang stuff off of it.
Yeah, those. Yeah, I think I've seen some of those before.
I would get a wall scroll, but I couldn't hang it in my room because, well, I can't hammer nails into my walls. So that kind of blows up my face. All right, well, that's new. That's the Final Fantasy X news for you fine people. I guess we should move on to questions because I think that's all I really have left. What about you, Anthony?
I don't think I really see much. Yeah, that's also all I have. Also.
Okay, so this is I found this funny from the WoW forum, and this is a joke anyone can get. I came back from a month-long trip for work, and the guild left the server. Or what happened to the guild Unbreakable Spirit? I came back from a 1 month long trip for work, and the guild left the server. What left is a level 1 joke. Anyone know what happened? I'm guessing Lothar broke their spirit. And then the next person, golf clap for Gnome Basher. Which, if you've ever been on our server, you would know why it sucks your soul away. Anyway, we should move on to other stuff. So, this guy wants to buy a Wii U. He asks, does that make me a monster? I've always been kind of a fan of Nintendo and their products. With all news coming from that side of the gaming world has been positive. What do you have? What opinions do people who own a Wii U have? Additionally, if you own one, does the Wii U play Wii and GameCube games?
Can you slow down the reading because I can't understand half of the question.
Okay, so he says, so I want to buy a Wii U. Does that make me some kind of monster?
No.
Okay, keep reading. I've always been a fan of Nintendo and their products, but all the news that has been coming from that side of the gaming world hasn't been positive. What opinions do people who own a Wii U have? Oh, well, I like mine. I wish I had more money to buy more games for it. You know?
I like my Wii U. I love Miiverse. It's like it's an online social network minus 95% of the stupidity.
I loved how you sent me that picture of my guy just happening to pop up.
Well, that's because I had just connected to Miiverse in the game.
Oh, okay.
So you're on my follow list.
Oh, all right.
On Miiverse. So I think and you're also on my friends list also. So it kind of makes sense that you were like the first guy I saw.
Okay,
so talking about how the game is so hype.
So I should replay all those levels and draw cartoon dicks.
Okay, I think you're not understanding the point where I said that minus 95% of the stupidity.
Okay.
I like Miiverse. The gamepad is so nice. It's so easy to type stuff onto it. I mean, with a regular controller, you always have to like click A, click N, click D. Like, whenever you're typing on the controller, it's you get used to it, but it's still not exactly a good way to type. Whereas with the gamepad, you can type things so easily. And it's really cool having two screens. Playing Wind Waker HD on it was amazing because it cleans up the UI of the main screen, and all I see is just my health, my magic bar, and maybe an essential button or two, and my money. That's about it. And all the other stuff goes down to the bottom screen. So I don't have to pause the game to hotkey my items. That was really cool. And I get to display a map on the bottom screen while still paying attention to what's on top of the screen, so I don't have, again, improves flow. So it does some really cool things. Being able to game on my gamepad, that's pretty cool. Like this morning, I just want to get a quick level of Mario done, but I don't want to fiddle around with my HDMI cables just to make it display on my computer monitor. No, I just play it on my gamepad. It's almost like a portable. It's so cool.
The amount of that is awesome. I really like. So my mom likes me to watch TV shows with her sometimes at night, and like I just will not want to watch it, or I want to play a game while I do that. And it's nice to have the Wii U as an option to be like, oh yeah, I'll play Mario or Zelda or Wonderful 101. I think the main thing with the Wii U is you have to realize that like it's like as a primary console to own, it's probably not going to be the best one, but it is going to get a lot of great games, and it's going to have Bayonetta 2, therefore it wins.
I mean, you think about it, the Wii U's future actually does have some hope into it. It's just like right now, at this extreme moment, it's not looking too great. But in the future, though, it's going to have like some really cool things. Like, obviously with Monolith Soft working on X, that's going to be a big deal for the super hardcore RPG crowd. You got stuff like Bayonetta 2. You know a Zelda game is coming. Mario Kart 8 is coming out this year. Smash Brothers is being planned to come out this year.
Donkey Kong's out in 3 weeks.
Donkey Kong's out in 3 weeks, and I think the Wii U is going to be fine. It's not going. I mean, I don't think it's just not going to sell in PS4 or Xbox One numbers. But hey, it's kind of like one of those systems where it's like no one's really buying it, but if you own one, you can kind of see this thing inspiring a lot of loyalty, kind of things.
We are going to have a long discussion about that in a little bit because of one of the questions.
Okay.
Anyways,
but as far as the Wii U, I like it. I just want more games to play on it. Okay, I just bought Super Mario 3D World. It's amazing. I mean, yeah, it's not as powerful as a PS4, but Super Mario 3D World looks amazing. I mean, you just have to
look. That game looks so good, right?
I mean, I understand that. I understand that in Zelda Wind Waker HD and Super Mario 3D World, they don't have effects and particles flying everywhere, which is probably why you don't notice the limited performance that the Wii U has, and I get that, but still, for it to do 1080p gaming with that kind of art, with that kind of color, it's like, ooh, that's really cool. I like the layout.
I mean, look at Wonderful 101. Like, Wonderful 101 has just a ton of shit going on screen. It looks great and runs well. I mean, like, that's Pikmin, same thing.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, probably the reason why it looks great and doesn't stutter in 1080p is because it doesn't have a billion particle effects flying everywhere like in the PS4 and Xbox One games. But hey, it's still pretty cool.
Oh yeah, dude. By the way, Anthony, Wonderful 101 just got a price cut down to $30. So
I know Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate also got the price cut to $20 on both the 3DS and the Wii U. That's pretty good. So if you want a super, super, super hardcore Monster Hunter game that Japan's just crazed about, go buy it. It's like $20 in eShop. Just go get it.
Lego City covers for you.
Now the problem is that I'm not a Monster Hunter person because I bought Monster Hunter 3 on the Wii and I just didn't get it. I don't know how to play Monster Hunter, so one of these days someone's going to need to teach me how to play Monster Hunter because I feel like...
You need to talk to Alex and Robbie.
Yeah, well...
Those are the people you need to talk to.
I also had, like a friend of a family member just kind of play. I played online with the friend, and she was like geared she's like epically geared, like looks so cool, and I'm just sitting there just like, how does anybody play this game? I don't know how. Someone tell me, because I only got like maybe like an hour, like 30 minutes in it, and I'm just completely stumped because I don't know how to dodge anything. I don't know how to use this colossally slow to attack lance. I don't know what the hell is going on. So someone needs to teach me how to play Monster Hunter one of these days. Because when I went to Vegas and street passed in Vegas, I met a dude who was like from Tokyo, which was new for my map, which is awesome. And he was playing, and guess what? Monster Hunter 4. And then I street passed with one other person from Japan, also playing Monster Hunter 4. So it's like, this thing is a huge deal in Japan, and I just don't know how to play it. So one of these days I need to sit down, Lord. But anyways, yes, Monster Hunter 3, $20 on eShop, both for 3DS and Wii U. Yeah.
Wonderful 101, $30 at most retail stores. Really hardcore action adventure game. Ton of fun. If you own a Wii U, it's definitely a game that you should definitely look into.
Also, if you're into indie games and want to play some indie games on the Wii U, I think Nintendo's having a sale or collection kind of sale on the Wii U eShop right now. Speaking of which,
hold on, I want to talk about this picture I just saw. Have you ever seen the movie Castaway?
No.
With the volleyball, Wilson. No, okay. Well, this guy gets shipwrecked on this island with a volleyball, and he needs social contact. Yes, contact. And the volleyball becomes his friend, and he names it Wilson. And then he decides to make a raft to get off the island with his volleyball friend. And it falls off, and it gets lost in the ocean. He gets saved, but the volleyball's gone forever. And he just keeps screaming Wilson. And this movie starred Tom Hanks. Great movie. You should definitely check it out. And I just saw this meme and showed a picture of Tom Hanks in that movie and said, "I'm so glad the Seahawks found you, Wilson." Okay.
Hey, there's a Nintendo has started giving some small details about this system update they're giving to the Wii U this summer. Basically, what they're doing is that they're making the system faster to turn on by doing something like you can select user or game from the gamepad, while the system is probably still booting up. So that way, they're expecting it to like cut startup times by like about 50%, which is pretty darn good.
Well,
I mean, the Wii U's menu. I mean, I got it right just before they released their big system update that sped up everything. So the Wii U's menus aren't as slow as they used to be. I mean, they're still a little slow, but it's not annoying.
I got mine like a couple of days before that update happened, so I went to bed when it was updating because this is when I was working at AT&T and the iPhone just came out, so I didn't get home until midnight, and I had to be up the next morning to do more overtime. But like any good gamer, I at least set up the system. And it starts doing updates, and I'm just like, fuck it, I'm going to bed.
Yeah, but at least the system is faster now.
Yeah, now it's faster, but at the time it's just like, oh my god, this is slow and bad and just, ugh. But yeah, Wii U is great. You should, I want more people to buy one because, because that way more games will come out on it, it'll get more support, and it'll...
Well, at this point, all the third parties are bailing out, so just about all you have left is now Nintendo and whatever studio can get support from Nintendo. Like, you kind of pointed out, Bayonetta 2...
Sega supports it still.
Yeah, sort
of.
And
Ubisoft.
Yeah. Well, Ubisoft is probably barely.
Ubisoft
but it's like, you kind of pointed out, the only way Bayonetta 2 would have existed is to be on the Wii U.
Yep.
That's like the only way it could have existed. And Platinum Games has kind of had a decent history with Nintendo.
I mean, I'm trying to think of like what third, well, I don't know. Oh God, what was it? Who developed Monster Hunter? That was Capcom,
That's
right?
Capcom. Yes.
Okay. Hmm.
Capcom,
WB.
Capcom still does things with Nintendo. It's just I think they're kind of shifting it more towards the 3DS.
Yeah,
Stuff like
understandable.
Project Cross Zone. Because you think about it, because the 3DS, it's a cheap, easy system to make
It
games
is the
for.
most successful system right now, and
Yeah,
it's so cheap to make games for.
relatively,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. Um, I really love the Virtual Console. I really think they should release more games for it. Ironically, that
Well,
we're
they're
talking
going
about,
to do that. Like I
it's
said in the
it's
earlier news story, they're going to make a
true.
bigger push for DS games and GBA games now.
Well, I mean Super Nintendo games and
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah,
N64
that's another
stuff.
big news. If you want to buy A Link to the Past, it's on the Wii U eShop now. It's like $8, but you can play it on your Wii U.
Not for me. For me, it's $1.50 because I owned it on Wii. Oh,
Okay,
because
if you own it on Wii, it's $1.50. If you have not got it yet, it's $8, and you can get it from eShop to play the Wii U on the game.
I am basically paying a tax to use it on the gamepad, is what this is.
Yeah.
It's like, do you want to use it on the gamepad and control it with the Wii U? You are going to pay your gamepad tax of $1.50 per game. Um, I don't know. That's cool. I still haven't paid the money to get any of my other games over yet. Um, dear God, like first off, my current job is minimum wage, and even then, it doesn't actually start for another week or two. So I've just been doing temp service stuff. So I'm essentially broke. Uh, and so that's why I haven't done it yet. But once that job starts whirring, or once I get back at AT&T, I will absolutely pay the. I think to get all my games transferred over, it's going to cost me around a whole $10. Ooh. But I love the fact I'm looking at their digital download prices, and I love how every Super Nintendo game is $8, except for Earthbound, which is 10. It's like, ugh, man. All right, well, anyway, like I said, Wonderful 101's $30. You should buy that. Like not digitally, like the hard copy. I only own one hard copy Wii U game.
Both my Wii U games are digital because Wind Waker has started me on this retarded path of buying my games digitally now. Even though I should be doing that with my 3DS, more like.
Um,
Yeah,
that,
like Zelda Wind Waker came digitally with the Wii U. Once you redeem the code, you downloaded it, and I'm just like, oh, you know what? Instead of having, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna get my games on Wii U. I mean, maybe Smash Bros. I'll get on disc, so that way I can actually bring it to other people's houses on party day. But I'll just buy my games digitally on Wii U until I run out of space. Then I'll buy some SD cards, and then I'll even be more retarded and attach a big bulky portable hard drive onto it. Yep, I'm retarded with my Wii U. Anyways, yeah. But for now, though, you'll be surprised how light these Wii U games are. Like, Zelda Wind Waker is like, what, 1.8 gigabytes? And Super Mario 3D World is like 1.7 gigabytes, which in the age of 1080p HD gaming, you wouldn't think they would be that light. But
no,
they are.
Not at all.
That,
Like Rayman,
that or the games are... No, they can't be ridiculously compressed. That makes no sense.
yeah, Rayman Legends, same story. Like the biggest games on Wii U are like 5 gigs.
Yeah, like I think to myself, like, oh man, if I buy my Wii U games digitally, I'm going to eat up all 32 gigabytes of my storage space instantly. And then you look at the actual download size, and you're like, that's it? That's all? Less than 2 gigabytes to play Super Mario 3D World, really? And it looks that good? Yeah, okay.
So one thing GameStop is doing right now is they're bundling consoles together, like they're from the previous generation. So I mean, like they had this one sale when I was there where you could get a 360 and a couple of games and a big hard drive and an extra controller for like $200. This deal makes me laugh. This one really does right here. What it is It's a Xbox 360, like the old style ones, with a 20 gig hard drive, which is nothing.
Oh.
I mean that is literally.
Hey,
game
Nintendo
saves.
sells you a game system with 32 gigabytes of storage.
Yeah, but then again, these 360s came out in 2005, so I mean, where is your god now? What? Why would you eat? You can get a 60 gig hard drive for $30.
I know.
So why wouldn't you?
Hey, they just probably want to clear out inventory.
Well, yeah, that's obviously what this is. So it's $140, and all this shit is used. But you get a 360, a hard drive, a wireless controller, Gears of War 3, Halo Reach, Modern Warfare 3, Homefront, Madden NFL 12, Ghost Recon Future Soldier.
Hey, can I buy some deals? No, out of hard drive space.
I forgot if Gears required an install or not.
No, I don't think so. It is one disc.
That's so stupid. Yeah, I want to say so too. But like, yeah, okay, like that's so dumb. This is dumb. I mean, okay, so
hey, you get shooters.
yeah, it's all shooters and sports there. By the way,
Hey, I do believe that epitomizes the Xbox. TV, sports.
shooter, sports, and racing games.
Yeah, sports and Call of Duty. That video, that video will forever stand out in my mind so easily. TV, sports. Call of Duty. Xbox, go home.
So I love how I'm looking through this like 360. First off, holy crap, there were way too many SKUs of the 360. But I love how one of these SKUs they still have for sale on their website these came out in early 2010, like a month apart. It's the Splinter Cell bundle and the Final Fantasy 13 bundle.
No one bought the Final Fantasy 13 bundle, did they?
No one. First off, chances are, if you are the average 360 owner, you do not give a fuck about Final Fantasy.
Yeah, I think that was like one of Microsoft's attempts to say, we have defeated Sony and we've got Final Fantasy on our system. What now? Buy it.
Not only that, like Microsoft made this
here's
really
the thing.
hard.
The only reason why you would buy Final Fantasy 13 on the 360 was because you didn't have a PS3, or you found 13 in the bargain bin. That's about all I could think of, because the only reason why I had 13 on 360 was because I didn't have a PS3 at the time. So the only way I could play 13, because I wanted to play it, was to buy the 3-disc copy.
I really love how Microsoft just paid a massive shit ton of money to get a bunch of JRPGs on their system or exclusive to their system, and they all sucked except for Lost Odyssey.
Well, you think about you know what's really...
Oh, and Tales. Tales was good too.
Well, here's the thing, yeah. Well, here's the thing. Microsoft has to compete against Sony in that Japanese market, and also win over JRPG fans, because honestly, if you want to play an RPG, you either had a Nintendo Portable or a PlayStation at the time. So Microsoft had to break through into that, because that's like one big fan base that you're missing out on if you don't focus on it. So they focus on that, and believe it or not, like Glass Remnant and Blue Dragon, that stuff is made by Mistwalker. Mistwalker is like run by like Hironobu Sakaguchi and Nobuo Uematsu. And
they also made Lost Odyssey. Last Remnant was garbage.
Yeah.
What was the other one you mentioned?
Blue Dragon.
That was
like a Dragon Ball Z art game.
Yeah, that was mediocre.
Kind of thing.
And then
that is made by Mistwalker.
Lost Odyssey was actually Odyssey was actually really rad. Anthony, I'm gonna be honest, that seems like a game you would like.
Maybe.
Like,
But here's the thing. Like those games, like Last Remnant and Blue Dragon, that stuff was like made by Mistwalker. Mistwalker made the last story, which is quite surprising until you realize that Mistwalker is more of an artistic studio. They just have another studio make the gameplay, which is where things can go wrong, badly.
Hey Anthony, you know how like a day ago I was talking about wanting to buy Gears of War 2? Do you?
I have a copy of Gears 2.
Well, are you willing to sell me it for the same price GameStop is?
Well, GameStop puts in the bargain. I nearly said
Yeah.
I nearly said the Garbin bin, but bargain bin. What? It's like what, $5?
Do you know, it's $1.
Okay, yeah, no.
Gears
Because at
2,
least okay, if it's $1, no, I'm not gonna give up Gears 2 because at least with Gears 2, in like the once a year that I get to play it, I can still laugh at his hilariously written story. And also practice headshots. I love doing that in Gears 2 actually.
It's the only one I don't own.
Which, by the way, Gears of War, for me, Gears of War still provides the most satisfying headshots. It's so good. Yeah. Anyways.
Anyway,
no, not for $1, no.
But Lost Odyssey is actually only $15. So, I don't know. Like, that is a game that seems like it would fit you.
Okay.
I know your birthday is soon, so if I am working, I think I might know what I might get you for your birthday. But yeah, so yeah, it is made by those guys, and it's largely considered
it's made by
best.
Miss Walker. But Miss Walker, like I said, Miss Walker. The thing about Miss Walker games is that yes, it's Hironobu Sakaguchi and Nobuo Uematsu. Like Final Fantasy Legends, gaming creator legends, right there. The problem is that Miss Walker is a creative studio. They're not gameplay design. They're not gameplay programmers. They're artistic people. They are story writers and music writers. So they contract with another company to make the gameplay, which is where things can go wrong.
Yeah.
So that's why the last story doesn't exactly play very well, but has a very beautiful story and soundtrack. And I imagine The Last Remnant was probably a good story also, it just had bad gameplay.
Moving forward, which gaming system had the most value to you?
Ooh, the most value.
Alright, so I want to say we should exclude the PC from this.
Yeah.
Because otherwise
it's unfair.
Because holy shit, World of Warcraft and Diablo 2 themselves.
No. That's not no. Even if you say free, Dota 2, League of Legends. League of Legends is like I think EverQuest. Well, yeah, I guess you could count EverQuest. But here's the thing:
DCOU. Yeah, that's just
League of Legends. I think is the world's most popular PC game right now.
Yeah, it in Dota 2.
MOBAs is one of the top gaming genres right now in terms of sheer number of players. Okay, it is so ridiculous. Now, here's how big League of Legends is. It's so big they rented out the Staples Center for their World Championships.
Okay, yeah. More to continue with League. League rents out the top floor of PAX. It is a massive tournament. People the statues of League characters are all over the place. And then Dota 2 rents out a giant ass theater in Seattle. So
like I said, League of Legends rented out the Staples Center in Los Angeles for their World Championships. It's that big.
Absolutely.
Like Evo couldn't do that. Like Evo, the world, was it like one of the country's top fighting game tournaments? They can't rent out the Staples Center, not yet, at least. That's how big MOBAs are. And here's the thing: I played League of Legends for like 4 months. 4 months. A lot of my summer was spent playing that game, and as frustrating as it was, and as garbage as the community is, I played that game for 4 months over the summer. If you can get hooked into a MOBA, you're gonna lose a lot of time into it. Because the high of winning is so great that two things happen. When you win, you want to keep riding that high of winning. And when you lose, you're not going to give that up. So you keep playing. And that game is so satisfying when you win. And it's also a very team-oriented game. Now, however, the problem is that because the high of winning is so great, you have a huge jerk factor when you don't have friends to play with. The community in League is absolutely terrible. Because
Dota 2 is actually not awful.
Well, yeah,
but
it's not as awful. Well, I'm pretty sure it's still awful because when you're talking about any game that's that competitive, there's going to be a lot of angry people all the time.
That is true.
And
but
partly,
also I found a lot of I also found a lot of people that want to teach you, like League when you suck. And
they verbally harass you for sucking. Yeah.
Yeah, in Dota 2, it's a 50-50 shot of verbal harassment or being told, no, this is what you need to do.
Well, you think about... Yeah, but here's the thing, too. Dota 2 is... I guess
it's linked to your Steam account.
Yeah, it's linked to your Steam account. Not only that, if you have a Steam account, chances are you are paying for Steam games with your money. And PC gamers are generally older, so I guess they're a bit more grown up. The problem with League is that anybody can sign up for a League account. So, unless they IP banned you, if you got banned for harassment, I guess you could just sign up for another account. I mean, it's not that hard. Whereas with Steam, you're kind of at risk of your entire games library on your PC being inaccessible if you decide to be an ass. Think about it. It's kind of like going to prison, except gaming style. You don't get to play your PC games if you're a jerk.
Actually, that's one of my news stories. I'll answer this question. So if we take out the PC, I mean...
It's just asking us what value you think is best, like today or in the past?
Or just in general, I guess. What system had the most value to you?
Oh.
Not in general, to you. So, for me, I know that for a lot of people, the original Xbox didn't get a lot of playtime. But between Burnout 3, Forza 1, and Halo 2, those 3 games come together to just, ate up 2 years of my life.
Mm.
But then I look to the PS3, and I'm like, well, I mean, PS3 has been my primary gaming platform since early 2009, and it still is. But finally, I go back and look at the 360, and I'm like, yeah, but dude, how much time did you spend in Halo 3, Gears 2, and Halo Reach? Too much is the answer. So, I mean, it really varies. I know if I had to say, absolute most time into a system, it's probably GameCube and PS3. But if I had to... Well, and PS2. But, lowering it down to one, it's probably PS3. Just because this generation had a lot of great multi-platform games, and I played almost all of them on PS3, and then you had its exclusives. If I had to go old school, I'd probably say PS2 because of Persona and Final Fantasy X and Grand Theft Auto and Gran Turismo, though really the 6th generation of consoles for me was just because I was in that middle school age group of where middle school especially, you have all the time in the world, plus you have the freedom to kind of choose to do whatever the hell you want. I know whatever the hell you want, but kind of how to spend your free time once you have your homework done. So it kind of created this moment of I would get my homework done and just game constantly. So that's 6th generation of consoles for me probably.
Oh, the system is a very good value. Well, you're gonna have to talk. Well, this is gonna be a very specific point in time though, because there's a big if here. I'd say it'd be my Xbox 360, because I gamed on my 360 excessively. Because to be honest, I didn't have a very fast computer. My computer sucked at the time. I didn't have a PlayStation 3. I didn't really care about my 3DS except Pokemon, and my Wii. Well, sure, I could only play Smash Brothers for so long. So it was my 360. I played Mass Effect 1 8 times. I played Mass Effect 2 8 times. I played an excessive amount of Forza 2, 3, and 4. I spent a huge amount of time in Oblivion. Over 120 hours into Oblivion. I played through Dragon Age Origins three or four times. I played through Dragon Age 2 through twice. I spent 55 hours playing Final Fantasy 13. I spent a colossal amount of time on Xbox Live back in the day playing Gears of War 2 with my best friends. I played an excessive amount of Madden 10 and Madden 13 on the system.
Yeah, like, because 360 also had, like, 360 had the social effect to it of where, like, I would especially when I first got it, from, like, when I got it at launch in 05 to when I started to hate people. I love how that's the statement. But
yeah.
When I started to hate people in late 2008, that time period, I would log in every day, even if I just didn't want to play a game, just so I could chat with my friends. It was a device to experience shit with my friends. Like, it was I didn't really want to play some of these games all that much. Like, okay, we're gonna play Gears, fine. Like, yeah, I'll play Gears with you. But it was more to chat with them and experience stuff with them than it was to actually play the fucking games.
Yeah. For me, the Xbox 360 is and very specific time period. Like I said, this is like 2007 to 2009, 2010. Okay, that very specific time period, the Xbox 360 was probably the best value gaming console ever. After 2010, maybe my PS3 seems like better value now. Maybe my 3DS seems like better value. But just for that time period, I mean, it was my racing game console via Forza, because Forza was pretty cool at the time. It was my Western RPG system, Mass Effect, Dragon Age, Oblivion. It was my shooter console, Gears of War 2 and Halo Reach. I did pay $50 a year to play for Xbox Live, but you know what? I thought it was worth it to play Forza Online, to play Gears of War 2 with my best friend, to play Halo Reach with Bronson. That felt like it was worth it, and the party chat was pretty cool too. So
like sitting down. I remember one thing we do is it was me, Andy, Quinn, Aaron, a bunch of other people, just like Halo 3 all day. I would get off football practice early in the morning during the summer. It's like, what are you guys doing? Halo 3. But
if you're talking about after 2010, the system didn't seem like a good idea anymore. I say a very specific time period because that was the time period where the 360 still seemed very good, and I really liked it at the time, and I spent a lot of time back then. Okay, and I didn't even think about getting a PlayStation 3 yet.
So we have two long form questions and then two easy to answer questions that I'm going to break up with the easy answer. So we're going to start with an easy answer, then go to a long form. So first is this guy got Bravely Default early, The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, and Fire Emblem Awakening all on the same day with his new 3DS.
Ooh.
He wants to know which should he play first. What order should he go in?
Okay, so you got Bravely Default, Fire Emblem Awakening, and
Zelda.
Ooh. I guess it really depends on what... I think that depends on what your gaming preferences are, really.
So, here's my thing. Bravely Default and Fire Emblem are really fucking long. And Zelda's kind of short. Like, not super short, but short enough.
20 hours.
Yeah, versus the other two, which are like 100. So
no, Fire Emblem is not 100 hours. It depends on what you do. If you just want to finish the story in Fire Emblem, I'm pretty sure that's like 20 or 25. That's like 25 or 30 hours. But if you're like a person like me who just wants to rebattle everybody and rebattle all those Street Pass teams, then you're looking at 100 hours.
Okay.
Bravely Default, I think, will be an extremely long game.
Yeah. So I would say go in the order of open up with either Fire Emblem or Bravely Default. Go to Zelda, and then finish with whatever one of the other two you did. So you get a little bit of a shorter, more action-oriented buffer between your two long RPGs. So yeah, that one went quick, eh? All right. So first long-form question. Which, when you first got a console, regardless of in the middle of the generation, late in the generation, or right at launch, which one out of all the ones you've owned felt the most next gen when you got it?
That's a good question.
That is.
That is a good question. Well, this one for me is a little strange to answer because I wasn't really super full into gaming until like 06, 07 actually. Well, it would be the Xbox 360. That was the first time. It was that system that introduced me how awesome an open world game could be. It was the system that introduced me to BioWare's ability to make Mass Effect 1 one of the best cinematic experiences I've ever seen in my life. It introduced me to convenient online gaming. And basically it was like one of those, oh my goodness, games are like movies, this is freaking awesome. And only that, or not only games are movies, but the gameplay is actually not bad either. And I get to play with my friends. And cars look awesome, and they all have interiors that work. Yeah, to me, it was just, for me, it would be like the Xbox 360. Because when I got my PS3, it was kind of like more the same, but slightly better, which is not bad. There's nothing wrong with that. But, because before I got my 360, the only systems I ever gamed on was the GameCube, which to me was, a step up from the N64, and I was playing on an SD TV, so no big deal there. I was playing on the PC, but I had a really bad processor and a mid-range video card that was going to die, and then I had to go to a low-range video card, which was awful. So PC gaming never really gave me a big jump. The Wii was, gameplay-wise, I guess it could be sort of next-gen, but having only Wii Sports and Metroid for a long time kind of limited that. And DS, to me, it was like, ooh, it's like the Game Boy Advance, except 2 screens and prettier graphics. So the 360 was like, that was when developers were like really pushing for big things on it, and was pretty cool at the time.
So I'll talk about my experience with 360 in a minute because that is my number one. But I want to do something different to keep this conversation lively. And as much as I love the GameCube and the PS2, and I actually think they have superior games to the original Xbox felt next gen. First off, because that hard drive, every game loaded lightning quick. Every game. Most games the multiplats looked way better than the games on other systems. You could copy your CDs to it and listen to them in-game for a lot of games. And the online was just so much further ahead because you had a profile and whatnot. But I would say the most overall would be 360. And the reason is 360 is because when that system came out, I wanted some very specific things in a console, and it did everything I wished for. There were a couple of things that when they were talking about 360, I wanted a couple of very specific things, and they did it. One was cross-game chat. I loved playing with my friends at the time, but sometimes, but the only game everyone had was Halo 2. So it pretty much forced us to always be playing Halo 2. Which that was a bummer. The next thing I wanted was, I loved the fact that there were custom soundtracks in every sports game and almost every racing game. But no other genre. And I wanted custom soundtracks in every game. And then I wanted to be able to access my friends and stuff from any game also. 360 came along, and it's just like, poof, wish granted. So... And then wireless controllers were nice, because then Quinn would stop breaking his fucking controllers by tripping on them. So... yeah, like the 360 was kind of a pretty big jump in a lot of ways for me, and I really loved it.
When it worked.
Yeah. When it worked, of course. But yeah, man, like I remember that first night Quinn and I got it, and we got this. First off, we got to see the jump for HD. Like we played a lot of Madden and a lot of Halo 2 and a lot of Project Gotham 2, and then to see Project Gotham 3, Perfect Dark, and Madden on 360 was like, wow, this is HD. Holy crap, 720p. And then we plugged in our Creatives at Nano, and like, oh my god, we can listen to any song we want from this thing in any game. How cool is that?
That feature was only like cool for like a month, and then you were tired of it, right?
No, I actually used that for a while. It's the problem is they it made it so they only made it so realistically the 360 could read like 100 songs from an MP3 player, which when I first got the thing was fine. But if I were to plug my current iPod into it, like it would make the 360's fucking head explode. So I remember later in its life, I tried using it as a media server to pull all the stuff off my computer's hard drive, and just like it could not load it. It was just garbage at loading that shit.
Do you know something I did back in the day with some computers? Was do you remember Windows Media Center?
Yes.
You could load that from your computer into your Xbox and have your Xbox be a media center from that point.
Huh.
But you needed networking features to get that to work. So because you needed networking features and setting it up was a bit of a pain in the ass, no one ever really used it.
Yes.
It was like a nifty little feature.
Anyway, continuing forward with this. So the next short form question is, did you buy into the new console hype?
Not really.
Kinda. I was excited for PS4, and I think it's a great system. I play it almost every day, largely because it has Madden on it. But yeah, I fell into it a little bit, not so much on the Xbox side, and I don't see a problem with falling into it a little bit. Like fuck, how often do we get new consoles? Like once every 5 to 8 years. So fuck it, get excited. That's what I say.
It's hard. I wasn't really too excited because there's. First off, every time new consoles come out, they're always expensive.
Yes.
So that always dampens my enthusiasm. Second off, they always promise huge things, but huge things don't happen on day one. So it's like one of those. Yeah, it's kind of cool to hype up for a system, but at the same time, most of what they're telling you is going to happen. You're probably only getting about 60% of it on day one. So, and at least for these generation of consoles, it wasn't like with the Wii where it was like, I gotta get a Wii. I'm gonna call every store in Reno. I'm gonna stand in line until I get a Wii. Like, unfortunately, like that actually never really happens for other systems because to me it's like, oh, PlayStation 4. It's a PlayStation 3 with a better user interface and runs faster and looks prettier. Sweet. It's not like this next. To me, it doesn't yet seem like this next beautiful realm of meticulously crafted art that will revolutionize the way you live life.
I look forward to playing Destiny with you.
Destiny might do that, but as far as launch day, nah. Like, I stood in line at PS4, and I'm just like, I'm not getting the system, and I kind of don't care because there's nothing on it that I should care about yet.
Hey Sony, HDCP, get that shit off this box. Because fuck, we would love to make videos about these games, but we can't. I mean, fuck, god damn it. All right, so anyway, moving forward, what is your longest gaming session?
Ooh, I already know Bronson's answer to this one.
I got a couple. I know
MMO related, I guess.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if it was the Halo Reach bender or the Cataclysm bender, which was longer. Because what happened is for when Halo Reach came out, and when Cataclysm came out, I invited Quinn over to my house to play um, those games at midnight launch and then throughout the week. And when Cataclysm came out, that was literally just a week straight of Quinn and I like just waking up, playing the game, going back to bed.
Yeah, but but he asked for gaming session, which means
it's like
a day,
Quinn,
right?
I guess. Like Quinn lived in my kitchen basically for a week. So that's one. If we have to go like one sitting, then that's hard because I had a couple of those in high school and I had a couple in college. One in college is when Halo Reach came out. We went to the midnight launch, played the game almost all night, slept for like an hour, got back up, and then continued to play it throughout the entire day until like 6 o'clock when I had to go to class. So that was pretty good. Another good one was in high school when Smash Brothers Brawl came out, and Ben came over for the weekend, and we played it for 25 hours straight, and unlocked every character in one sitting.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I guess the final one is when Mitch and I did something similar with the original Rock Band, where we got to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in one sitting, which was another like 25-hour session.
Wow.
Yeah. Those shit was crazy, man.
Wow.
All right, Anthony, what were your longest sessions?
My longest sessions. Oh, man. It's hard to remember them because I don't game in long sessions.
Yeah, man, this is why you need to come to these midnight launches and go on benders with us.
I know I had some gaming sessions because I know that, 16-year-old Anthony Taw had no problem gaming from 8 a.m. to 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. No problem whatsoever. The problem is I have a hard time remembering which ones was actually the longest. Yeah. I'm thinking it's probably something. Man, I really don't have long gaming sessions if I can't remember any of them. The only games I can think of that's caused me to go on long gaming sessions is Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess. I would wake up at 6 in the morning just to play a little more of that game before I go to school. And usually most games don't do that, so I think that game may have caused me to go play as long as I can whenever I can. And Mass Effect 1 or 2? Mass Effect 3? I think Mass Effect 2 is one that I legitimately actually wanted to play for 16 hours, whereas Mass Effect 3 I had to play for 16 hours because I had to write a review on it. Or wanted to write a review on it. So, yeah. I've never had a 24-hour gaming session before.
I think that one session that sticks out, like Mass Effect 3 was another one for me where I threw my back out that week. I was working at my grandfather's company and I was lifting just ridiculously heavy shit, and like an idiot I lifted it with my back and just threw my back out for a week. And first off, it was painful to walk. It was painful to lie down. I could basically sit up in a chair with a pillow, and that was it. So, what happened is Mass Effect came out, and I just played Mass Effect until going to bed, because that's all I could really do is sit in one place. And let me tell you how much I hated that game when it told me to change the disc. Because, man...
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry to hear that.
Because, once again, like I said, it hurt to walk. To walk, I had to, I'd, grab onto walls, furniture. So, to tell me, first off, where I kept my 360 at the time was pretty much near the ground. So I had to bend down to take the disc out and put the new one in. It was just at that point, I probably should have just turned the game off and said no. And I was also the point where I was like, man, I should have got the PS3 version.
For Bronson's back health, get the PS3 version.
Yeah. Yeah, and I knew it should have been a sign to get the PS3 version when I was at GameStop. Like, we had 2 stops that day. One was GameStop, one was Petco. So they're right next to each other. Or, like, my mom had to take care of something at Sears, which was at the mall. So GameStop's at the mall. I go to GameStop and she goes to Sears. And I go pick up Mass Effect. Or I wanted to go pick up Mass Effect. I wait in this line. I wait for this dude to trade in, like, 3 mountains of PS2 games. Like, seriously. Like, Anthony, you've seen my PS2 collection?
Yeah.
Imagine, like, 6 of those. Okay?
Just so we can buy Mass Effect 3.
No, just because he's trading shit in.
Oh.
And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, Christ, come on. And then the dude stops, and I'm just like about 5 people away from where I am, and I'm just like, so okay, we no longer have any 360 copies of Mass Effect 3. And I'm like, are you, and I asked him, like, are you sure? Check the back. Knowing full well I've worked retail, I should not have said that. But he checked. He's like, "Yeah, I'm positive." And I'm like, "Well, that sucks." And he's like, "You should have pre-ordered, and then pre-ordering it would have got you da 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 da." And I'm like, "You know what? No, you should have fucking stocked enough copies of your fucking game. Fuck you for trying to shame me into pre-ordering again. I'm gonna go to Best Buy across the street and bathe in their hundreds of copies of Mass Effect 3. Fuck you." Oh, God.
Yeah, that's true. Best Buy. You know what's also really funny? On the day that I got Mass Effect 3, it was snowing, actually. I remember that day quite well.
I remember that. Yeah, that was
it was snowing that morning. And I was just like, okay, I'm going to go to Walmart and get Mass Effect 3. So I went to Walmart at 9 a.m. and got Mass Effect 3 an hour before everyone else who had to line up outside at the local GameStop across the street.
I went in midday.
Because Walmart is open 24 hours. So yay.
God, I was just...
Yeah,
I am mad when I think about it still.
Yeah, well... That's why I buy games from Best Buy, those big games, because they always have like a colossal amount. They tend to overstock really hard, though, actually, to the point where they kind of have these ridiculous $20 game sales later down the road.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah. So, as far as trying to finish a game quickly so I could get a video review finished before my spring break was over, Mass Effect 3. As far as actually caring about playing the game as long as I possibly can, I would say Mass Effect 2 or Twilight Princess. Because Mass Effect 2, because at the time when Mass Effect 2 came out, I was a huge fan of BioWare. I loved Mass Effect 1, and I was a big fan of Dragon Age Origins, so to me, BioWare was my favorite developer of the time. And I just needed to keep playing Mass Effect 2 because it had that perfect balance of we're going to fix all of the first game's problems, and at the same time, it's still the Mass Effect that you love. It was amazing. So, but other than that, I don't remember any long gaming sessions, really. Not MMOs, not shooters. Yeah. Whoops.
Alright, so I think we're almost done here. As far as questions go. That's for the raid, that's for the raid, that's for the raid. Here we go. Last one. With the the Wii U and the Vita, are they our new Dreamcasts? I would say Wii U, we don't know yet. I mean, it's still technically ahead of the Xbox One. As for Vita, absolutely. I mean, this post says it all. Definitely, Vita definitely has Dreamcast vibe going on. Great games, great hardware, just being out by a competitor with more sway and star power. So, I don't know, Anthony, what's your opinion?
But the Dreamcast, the thing is that I obviously wasn't into the gaming industry when the Dreamcast existed. But did the Dreamcast get that same sense of irrelevancy the day it came out?
No, it got the same sense of irrelevancy the second they said PS2 exists.
Because the Vita, the problem I had with the Vita was that it had a little bit of hype, but it was like, it just didn't have, it was just nothing really happened for it since the day it came out, except for maybe 2 commercials and a couple games. Like, no one talked about it. Because I feel like the Vita is probably not a Dreamcast system, because the Dreamcast is still talked about today. It's like a cult classic. Whereas the Vita, I'm finding it a little difficult to say whether it's a cult classic yet or not, because I can't... It's not talked about enough.
I think the Vita is in that same area that the PSP is also, which I think the PSP is also like the Dreamcast, where...
yeah, but the PSP sold like, what, 60 million? That's still that's still a lot. That's still a lot of PSPs. That's not like the Dreamcast, where the Dreamcast just got a little bit of sales and then just died.
I think that the Vita and the Dreamcast and the GameCube are all kind of in this club of they're these really awesome systems that when they came out seemed just like, wow, this is gonna rule, and then like they came out and they were fine, like they came out, they had great games, but for whatever reason they didn't do something the competition did, or they didn't have price, and they made a dumbass decision with hardware or whatever it was. In the Vita's case, it was memory cards and price. In the case of the Dreamcast, it didn't play DVDs, and Sega didn't, have a lot of good consumer faith. In the case of the GameCube, it was an image problem mixed with mini disc. So
and a controller that didn't have 2 full analog sticks.
Yeah, but even then, games worked well enough. So I mean, yeah,
it's like the Dreamcast and the GameCube are just kind of in their own category of incredible following, a very, very powerful following. Like, you could argue that it is more passionate than the PS2 following.
Yeah,
I mean, believe it or not, despite the fact that Nintendo only sold 21 million GameCubes, they sold quite a lot of software. I think the IGN calculated a number of 9 games per GameCube sold, which is very good, actually, considering the Wii didn't really have that number, the N64 didn't have that number. I don't know what the PS2's number is, but the GameCube had 9 games per system sold, which is very good. I believe the term is attach rate.
That is the term.
Yeah.
You are correct.
The Wii, on the other hand, didn't exactly have a very good attach rate.
The PS2's attach rate was 6.5 games per console.
Okay, so the GameCube actually had a better attach rate, which kind of tells you that people who owned GameCubes freaking love it. It's great. I mean, you think about it. You look at the used GameCube game section. Why is it that's just nothing but sports game? No one's gonna give up Wind Waker. No one's gonna give up Mario Party or Metroid or F-Zero or Star Fox.
There is
GameCube is a very, very passionate following, much like the Dreamcast. I don't know about the Vita yet. I think it's like one of those things that's too early to tell. Like the PSP, I don't know if it has a passionate following or not. I just haven't found any yet. And the Vita, we will see.
I think the Vita, once again, I think it says everything about that system, that everyone I know who owns one and bought one, except for Brittany, has kept it, loves it, and plays it constantly. So And like they said, what was it, 91% satisfactory rate? That's crazy.
That is extremely good for a consumer electronic.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, the Vita's getting some great games this year. I mean, they got that adventure game, Trigger Happy, what was it called? Trigger Happy Dragon Rompa. They got Mind Zeros coming out. That looks kind of cool. They got some cool games coming to that system. It's just that they're very niche. And
See,
if you're like,
here's the thing. This kind of points out a problem with, kind of life and, businesses in general. When you build the enthusiast product with the enthusiast, features in mind, they will absolutely love your product. But the problem is you won't sell many of them. It's probably going to be destroyed by a competitor. And it's probably going to be discontinued early. But people will keep loving it. I mean, you see this like in a lot of places, honestly. Like, you kind of see it a bit in the automotive world. Like, you build a very good sports car. Like a good, inexpensive sports car. And people love it. It's like an amazing driving car. However, because it is so niche, it's probably because it's also expensive. So not many people buy it. In addition to that, you don't make very good profits off of it because no one's really buying it. And you're probably selling it for a loss because you can't really sell the product too high or else you'd make no money at all, and that would be absolutely terrible. And so, but what makes more money? Well, let's build a sort of sporty car that's just really soft with luxury in it and many features. Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule, like people like to buy Mustangs. But, Anyways, niche products don't sell very well, but they get very good loyalty ratings. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
what's it?
Like the
Yeah.
Vita. It's a gaming enthusiast product. It is not out there to cater to moms and dads. It's not out there to cater just to the average gamer. No, this is the gaming enthusiast portable. Which is probably why gaming enthusiasts love it so much.
Yeah, I mean, Alex carries that thing everywhere. Like, I remember back when I worked over at AT&T, we used to play DOA during break and during lunch. I remember one time our trainer went over and watched us, and I just fucking stomped on Alex. I just had normally Alex and I are a really even match in that game, but that was one of those ones where it was just like, for whatever reason, I just went out and just stomped on him. And I was like, yeah, all right. But yeah, that was so, oh man, I don't know. Man, I don't know. I think both those systems are rad. The Vita, yeah. So
the Wii U, I don't know. I don't know if the Wii U has the Dreamcast quality yet. I mean, both the systems are still relatively new. So it's probably
the Dreamcast. Yeah, the Wii U especially is just so new that it's hard to tell.
Yeah,
we're about to hit Vita's third birthday, actually. No, wait, second birthday. So we're about to hit Vita's second birthday. So, oh man. Anyway, that's pretty much all we got. That's all we got, yo.
Yay. Ooh.
Yay, it's 10:45 at night.
Yay, I'm so sleepy.
Speaking of Vita, I'm not making promises because GameFly is weird, and I'm not sure if this is a cartridge-based game anyway, but I am going to try and review that adventure game, Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc.
What?
Yeah, it's from NIS America, and it's this adventure. It's a text-based adventure game. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I'm super stoked for it.
Super stoked.
So I'm gonna try and get a review. I'm gonna try to get a review of that going. Anthony and I are working our way through Okami slowly but surely.
Slowly. We're actually making pretty decent progress.
Yeah, if we keep going at the clip we're going at, I think we'll be done soon-ish.
Soonish, he says, until we get lost.
Yeah.
We'll have to do another digging minigame.
Well, yeah. I don't know, anything you want to promote?
Subscribe to us on iTunes. Please.
We're on YouTube now, too.
Honestly, the fact that Unscripted Access or this podcast didn't make the top 200 on iTunes is really annoying.
Really? God. Fucking slackers not promoting us enough. What's up? You should be telling all your friends and family about us and downloading us onto all their iPods.
And iPads. And iPad minis.
Yes.
And iPad Airs.
We want to be on all the iDevices.
Yes. Let's be honest here. When we're back in the Potomac days, we were top 20 with what? A budget of nothing? And podcasting like idiots at the time?
We still do kind of podcasts like idiots.
I know. But still, back in the day, we were kind of like being top 20 on Potomac was like, what?
Yeah.
I believe it was top 20. That was only 1 week, though. But still, that was pretty darn awesome. So, please, subscribe to us on iTunes. And give us 5 stars. We are also now on YouTube, so if you found this podcast on YouTube, hello. Please come to GameRaxes.com to get the episodes earlier, because that's where we post first. And also because it is on YouTube, we also have an easier way of commenting now, so if you don't feel okay with commenting on our website, you can always comment on YouTube, because everybody has a YouTube account, right?
Yeah. Also, what was the word? Oh, we on YouTube, you know, I will respond to stuff. So if you just want a text response, I will respond to stuff on YouTube. I am not afraid to go into the abyss. That is YouTube. I don't know. It's cool that we're back on YouTube, though. To that one guy who didn't like us talking about peanut butter and trash food. What's the matter with you?
Actually, I do have a better response for that.
Okay.
So, the guy that was... Well, you're talking about, like, on the forum, right?
Yeah, on the forum.
Okay. So, if you were saying... Okay, so you were saying, oh, the first 10 minutes is nothing about food. This is total garbage. I'm giving it another 5 minutes. The thing is that if you had read the description for the podcast, there was a timestamp on it. There was a reason why I put the timestamp there. It's because we talked about it earlier today during the meeting about putting timestamps in our videos, because, let's be honest, some people only want to listen to specific topics. Or just want to skip whatever we were talking about and just get straight into the main point. And I put the timestamp that says that the first topic we talked about was at, like, what, 23 minutes in? You could have just fast-forwarded the audio to 23 minutes. Boom. Problem solved. Just read the description, people. If there's a problem, at least check the description.
Also, two of the top, like, the top 2 gaming podcasts on iTunes rarely talk about video games, especially the Bombcast. So, we're just following a model for success.
A model for success. I like that. That's a good phrase. That's a good phrase. I like that.
Yeah. See?
Model for success.
See, Anthony, it's all this PR I've been doing for the website.
That sounds like that phrase, for some reason, just sounds awesome. A model for success. Man, that sounds like a very good benchmark.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, it's all this PR I've been doing. Oh, God. I just sent an email out about Trigger Happy Havoc. So, we'll see.
Okay.
Oh, God. Anyway, that's about it. We're on iTunes, we're on YouTube, all that good stuff. You have yourself a most excellent week.
All right.
Bye-bye.